Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think the stream can hear me, so. Yay! Troll can hear me. This. Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that keeps forgetting. There we go. Okay, Jim, you're rather loud. It sounds like Gemma's Skype is not good. I don't know why. Let me see what's going on. We're gonna futz with it. Okay, yeah, this is from Gemma's side, I think. Your audio, Gemma, is a nightmare. Okay, now it's better. It's still wildly overamped. The gain is like insanely high. Sorry, you guys are only gonna hear me while I talk Gemma through this to protect you guys from the terrible noise. Well, it was, and then something, possibly Skype, set the gain to like absolute maximum, and now it's picking up like the most possible noise from everything. Like Skype is the worst for these things, and you should make sure Skype is set to not at all interact with your microphone because it like messes everything up. No, it's still. You're getting closer to normal, but it's still like wildly oversensitive. Try Zoom. See, the problem with Zoom is, and maybe you can make Zoom work this way. Zoom doesn't really have a good NDI output. So the whole point of the whole weirdly annoying part of this is getting, because I know you all love our technical troubles, is getting like a video conference solution where everyone can actually see what's going on, and also you can get it over to OBS. And weirdly, Skype is like one of the only pieces of software that has a decent output for this. I should check Zoom and see if Zoom hasn't improved in the past few years. You're getting closer to better. You're getting closer to normal. Okay. Okay, you're back to sounding reasonable and not, yeah, at least reasonable, like you can be heard. Is that what you're using now? Well, it's kind of gotten back to okay right now. Right now it seems like you're reasonable. It's still a little touchy. Is the audio better without David? Oh god. No, I'm just protecting you from the. This is great.
This is the fancy mic, which is supposed to be super good.
Yeah, I think again, I think the problem is that Skype is dumb, and Skype like says, "Oh, I know, I'll adjust the mic to make it better," and then it like jammed your gain up to absolute maximum, and then the mic was picking up literally every noise, and it was crazy.
I will say that this microphone, despite being fancy and supposedly good, it does not have many options like actually on it compared to my older one. So I might just go back to the old one. It's a pain.
It might be a Skype. Anyway, I'm sorry, folks. We had to futz around with this so much. We were back in.
Have you done your thing, Dave? Have you posted this all to the channel?
No, I'm about to. Now that we're
right,
human.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah. I'm about to be a person who does that, so I'm going to do that right now, so you can tell people what are the exciting Gemma news of the day.
What is the exciting Gemma news of the day? Oh, dang. No, don't ask me how I'm feeling. I'm very unhappy with the world.
Uh-oh.
So, I mean, well, Troll knows better than most people, but I am not the biggest fan of fast traffic in residential areas. because our Prime Minister has gone to America to get hot tips on how to win elections.
Mm.
His hot new election strategy is the pro-motorist charter or something, which really, I mean, if you look at it, you're
Wait,
like, this
isn't
is
that like
just
a
a charter.
20, 30-year-old idea? Anything that says like
No.
pro-motorist, like we hate that stuff here now.
Oh, really? So he's like, oh, that's going to work here. So basically, he's made it now so that there are. He's saying like it's too much enforcement on parking and speeding, and I'm like, wait a minute, too much enforcement on law breaking? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it reads like, you know. So basically, you know, that local authorities shouldn't be able to fine people for speeding. I'd like to point out speeding is one of the big ways that people die
I'm gonna do a
from a
quick
car.
aside and say, Pesnator, audio technicians are not
Post a
wizards.
war on car with a war with cars.
Audio
Yeah, right,
technicians are
right.
sorcerers because wizards have books where things are written down, and all this audio is like a lot of this AV production stuff is like dark arts that no one has ever written down
Yeah,
anywhere, and you
yeah.
just have to kind of figure
We
out, and
need
then eventually
Snape
you
for
learn
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, it turns out that this piece of hardware on this particular input does some weird thing that no one ever said it does, and if you plug it into this other particular thing, it all like you get crazy stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry, warlocks.
But
Yes.
yeah. So anyway, it got crazy. So now he came out and he said that driving at 20 mile per hour was not a core British value.
It's not a core British value.
Right, right. And it's the first time I'm like, what? 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 How is driving at any speed, whether it's 70 or 20, how is that part of my British
Core
values?
British values.
This is so crazy. And this is followed by last week he said he declared, because I was sick, wasn't I? I had COVID last week. So he declared that there what did he said that he is saying, because he wants to put a brake on net zero. So he is cancelling compulsory car sharing. I want to point out no one has been compulsory car sharing and no one has
When did
even suggested.
compulsory car sharing does sound kind of not good.
Yeah,
Fair.
right.
When you
But
when you
this is
say
not a thing that's happened.
compulsory.
The only thing I can think he thought in his head and doesn't happen here is, I know that you have carpool lanes in America. We don't have
Yeah.
carpool lanes here.
But the carpool lanes were much more of an opposite direction. It was if you're
Yeah.
carpooling and sharing your car, then you can use
Yeah.
this special lane that will be good for you. It
It's
was
a
in that
carrot,
direction.
right? It's a
It's a
carrot.
carrot.
Yeah.
It's a carrot, exactly.
So everyone was like, wait, what, compulsory car sharing? Like, where is this coming from? And then it was and he's going to prevent meat taxes. Again, a thing that never existed. So I don't think Sunak's in our country most of the time. It's just insane. Like, no one is taxing meat in this country. No one's even suggested taxing meat in this country.
Yeah, what is
The
a
only
meat
thing
tax?
that has remotely happened is the NHS, our health authority, has said, if we want to reduce heart problems, we should probably eat less meat. I don't know. I don't know what he's huffing.
But it doesn't matter. Like I think they've learned this is the classic U.S. right wing trick.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if anything's real. You can just do that thing where you say like, I'm the candidate who's going to make sure your children don't get eaten by monsters. Everyone else is pro children eaten by monsters. And you don't have to, like, that threat doesn't have to be real. As long as you just say it, people are just like, oh, eating by monsters doesn't sound like a good thing. I don't like that.
But basically, you're right. I mean, this is the final step towards American politics that we have been moving towards for the last decade. We are now
enjoy that. You're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Exactly. Now it's just American culture, right? It's just a culture war. No one can say anything sensible or want anything nice because it's a culture war.
Well, it's easier. This. You know what this is? This is actually advertising. This is one of my hot takes. This is advertising. Advertising once upon a time, if you look back in time at ads before we got really good at it, ads would be like, here's product X. Product X has these quantifiable benefits you can read and understand. And sometimes the quantifiable benefits were a little hokey and a little false, but the format was always like, here are things that my product does that yours doesn't. It's durable. You'll buy it once, you don't have to buy it again. It performs better. You know, we talk about these things. Advertising now doesn't give a shit about that. Advertising now is like, hey, you know how the whole world and all of its systems makes you really want to die? If you buy this shit, maybe you won't want to die for like a little bit.
You see,
maybe you'll be happy or sexy or successful or something.
They're telling you that you should buy something because that's your identity.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But that's the point. The point is that by picking this up and taking this into myself, I'll feel better. I'll feel good. It's not about any actual thing that this thing does.
who in this country whose identity is underpinned by the need to break the law and speed in their
No, you
car?
don't
Because that's
understand.
a core
You're
British
coming
value.
at
It's a
it. You're
core
coming at it
British
from the
value.
wrong angle. The issue is
Okay, from
not that my
rationing.
identity is underpinned by being a 20-mile-per-hour driver. It's that I don't have an identity. My identity has been devastated by the wasteland that I live in, where I have no thing really to call my own and no anything. I will grab that and cling to it because it makes me feel a little bit less like offing myself every day as I grind through my miserable life. And that's more effective. It works better.
I don't know, like for me, I'll say from a personal level, I am very impacted by pavement parking in this country. Our pavements, our sidewalks are very narrow. And for some
Mm.
reason, cars not having enough, not all motorists, but not having enough space on the road, they then park entirely on the pavement and block it.
Oh yeah, that's real
And I
bad.
have been
That's real rude.
wanting that to be better enforced. And they had a big consultation, and
That's
the
how it happens.
government said, should we ban pavement parking? And of course, the results came in,
Yeah,
and
fuck
lo
no.
and behold, most people in this country do not like pavement parking, right? And that's the thing. It's always a minority just making everyone else look shit, right? And then, of course, with this, basically, Sunak has gone and said, "Oh, we're not going to enforce parking, so therefore you can park on the pavement." And I'm like, "This is the opposite. You talk about democracy." I point out here that this PM is not elected. You talk about democracy. There was a democratic consultation, and people hate pavement parking. So do that. Like, do the thing that
Look,
people asked for.
I see. It's been a oh man.
Oh yes, and then New
I
York
had
got
this.
flooded. The videos were impressive.
I had this like emotional roller coaster I went on seeing High Aquaman. First, I was like, well, is that referring to me? And then I was like, well, why am I being called Aquaman? I'm being called Aquaman because I sound like I'm underwater. We have more audio issues. And I'm like, am I being called Aquaman because I look like Jason Momoa? Is this just shameless flattery happening? Because I'd love that, but now no, it makes sense because some of New York got flooded. Yeah, there was a lot of rain.
You're
Um,
quite high up, though, aren't you? You're in a
yeah,
building that gets
this
flooded at all,
where
right?
I personally live, I'm very fortunate. We do not flood.
Mm.
We went through Hurricane Sandy years ago. Like, there's never any flooding here. So fortunately for me personally, where I am is fine. Other parts of the city
Is
get hit a
that
lot
just
worse.
because, like, I don't know much about. Is
I
it
think it's
like
just
Brooklyn?
topography, just
Is
the topography
Brooklyn
of the
just
area.
low? Is that why? Is
Brooklyn is lower. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think again, my neighborhood I think is on like a rise of like almost solid rock. So all the water just like flows down and off of our neighborhood.
Well, I mean, you
Um,
could still get a flash flood. It's not impossible, but yeah,
it just
okay.
hasn't happened. Again, like I don't know
Hasn't.
the details. I just know this it hasn't happened here and all the times we've had flooding, so I'm very fortunate to be in a good place. But other
Mm.
people had a lot of problems with the rain. Yeah, there were some crazy videos of subway flooding, of a flooded bus driving
Yeah,
down a
I saw
flooded.
that
Yeah, that was
one. Yeah.
nuts. Like
I
and
don't understand why people still drive vehicles though in floodwater. Like you can't see what you're driving
they
into.
don't. I mean, I think this is also a little bit of a perspective thing. I think a lot
Mm.
of people don't know what else to do. I mean, some people have to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta go
yeah, and
somewhere. What do I
I'm
do?
get, I know, but you might not get there at all if you drive your vehicle into something you can't see.
But I also think that for a lot of people, a car is the most powerful thing that they have encountered.
Mm.
Like and to be fair, like I'm almost in that boat. I guess trains are more powerful than cars, but whatever. Like I've never been I've seen and I've intellectually engaged with.
Mm.
Never been in a flood that could pick up a car and carry it away.
Mm.
So it's not crazy to think to myself, well, I'll get in my car. The car is a big, stable, heavy thing. The car, nothing can happen to the car, and I'll drive the car somewhere. And until you internalize this idea that no, if there's a really big flood, that car is not
Yeah.
going to protect you.
Do you know, it's funny, my head's there was a big, God, I don't know how many years ago, this is quite some time ago, maybe 10 years ago, and there was a big flood. We went to the Boscastle, Dave, I took you there, where the Witch Museum was.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Boscastle had this terrible flood, and I'd never heard of that place flooding before, but my friend lived there, and they said it was okay, and then it really wasn't okay. Like the water
mm,
came fast. And yeah, and it's not just the depth, but also the speed at which it came, right? And it just ran through the village and it just picked up everything as it went and smashed it into the buildings.
yeah,
Like the fear that they related this story of like you were in a building and you could just hear like the vehicles that it picked up being thrown onto the walls of the house. And like, well, is this building even going to stand anymore? And just,
yeah.
I said they were standing and everything was fine. And yeah, okay, the river's a bit high. And then suddenly, like, yeah, it was a proper
Well,
flash
that's
flood,
I
right? It
mean,
came through.
if you think about it, like that's how it's going to be because there's going to be some kind of some kind of bank of
Mm.
the river or protection against the flood, so everything will be kind of okay, and you'll be dealing with just the water that's fallen in your area, and at some point, some
Mm.
larger body of water is going to run over
Mm.
barrier, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's just yeah,
And
it's
it's
got to be
just this
terrifying.
idea that you could, I don't know, like this idea you could ever take water on, you know, if the water doesn't
You can
pick you
do.
up and
I mean,
take you with
you
it.
can sandbag. You can do some things, but you can't like me
No,
personally. Heck no, I'm dead.
no, I mean, you know, yeah, yeah.
And Zaps is
It's
right. Trams are more
that's what
powerful than
makes me
cars.
kind of raise my eyebrows when I see people getting into their cars. I mean, you should not get in that water. Like, you don't know what's in it. You don't know what the water's bringing with it. I mean, probably it's full of disgusting sewage, which is going to make you sick anyway.
Well, you know what? If I'm gonna flood like long term illness from bacteria in the water is like a later concern for me. Like we can
But
deal with
surely the
that.
primary concern was you get yourself out of the water. That's
Yeah.
what I didn't understand. Like, don't drive for it unless. I mean, I get like, you know, if you're a first responder or there's people who are
Well, yeah,
really
people whose job
desperate.
it is to deal with.
Yeah,
But
people who probably know what they're doing.
I mean,
Mm.
it's they're trained at least.
Mm.
But like Zaps, in fact, Zaps, you'd love our New York City bus drivers because our New York City bus drivers know and live by that their buses are stronger than cars, and they will just do whatever they want, and the cars are damn well going to get out of their way. Otherwise, the cars are the ones who are going to get wrecked, and the cars are the ones who are going to be at fault. So the bus drivers here just do anything. They do not like a bus driver does not care. Maybe they care about hitting a human, like a walking
Was it
person.
that video in New York I saw and like there's some sort of lady, I guess she must be driving a bus and she just like this car just pulls out and she just drives into it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
She just didn't even, that wasn't even a flinch. She's just like, oh, drove into that car.
I mean, the other important thing is if you're I'll give this lady the benefit of the doubt a little bit. If you're an experienced bus driver and a car swerves in front of you, you just know like I'm not gonna I can slam on the brakes. It's not gonna help. I'm
And
not gonna stop
probably
this bus.
you
in
should
time.
not swerve either and just make more carnage.
Yeah, exactly. Like it might actually be again. I don't know. I don't want to judge. Like it might be better just to be like, yeah, we'll just have this accident now.
But New York's putting in cycle lanes, is what I heard.
Oh, we got a lot of cycle lanes. We got a lot less.
That's
We got a
good
lot less
news.
car lanes. Got a lot more cycle. We hate cars here. We're just getting rid of them left and right. So do we have?
Do you know what? But I would have thought like New York would be a good place to have because it's so small.
Yeah, no, it's great for the city. I think shrinking car paths and expanding cycle
And
paths. I think is a very good.
most of the New Yorkers I know walk.
Yeah.
Like it's the same in London. Like I didn't know anyone who lived in London who drove a car. That just seemed insane to me. Like there is nowhere that you can go in London that you can't walk faster.
Yeah, no, it's anyone trying to drive a car in New York is just either living in the outer boroughs where you might need to, or just silly.
You don't have like park and rides. You can't like drive your car close to the island and then park it and then catch a bus or a train or something.
We don't really have that structure set up because we have
that's
enough
a good
of
structure.
We have a large we have like a large municipal rail system, so there's park and ride stuff further out. Like the regional rails like New Jersey Transit and Long Island Railroad and Metro North, like all of those have like park and ride agencies. Yeah, you park your car at the station, you get on the train, you take the train, and you're good. Yeah, not everywhere actually flooded the US.
Okay, let's do mahjong then.
What do we got?
There's no. Do you know what? I've got nothing. I can give you something if you want. I haven't.
Yeah.
I played some games yesterday, and I haven't looked at them or thought about them at all.
I gotta next week. I gotta play some games. I've just been so Comic-Conned up. I have exciting things I can say about that.
Oh wait, can I? Because Pez is here.
Oh no.
Can I? Do you know what? I'm going to give you one from the previous because I don't think I can share those because they're supposed to be secret scores still. So I'll give you one that's not secret. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, email's good. Like the park and ride stuff is really that I've seen for like Long Island Railroad, New Jersey Transit, things that are really far out. And yeah, you can park there, ride the LIR or ride NJT in, and then
Well, riding a train line. Oh, that was the other thing that happened this week is that the Tory party told us that trains were woke.
Wait, why are trains?
No, don't try to understand what
I really want to understand why are trains? Well, why do you care about the word woke now? That's another exciting one. Why is the word woke something that matters to you?
No, I don't know, dude. I really don't know, and I just wish it would stop. I don't honestly. The way people used woke, I have no idea what it means anymore. It's just lost all meaning.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just become another like bad person word where it's like
right.
You say things like, "No, we're happy Pez is here. We just want to like."
No. I'm just because I shouldn't. I just realized that I can't give the ones from yesterday because we're keeping those scores secret. So I'm going to give him one from the week before because I was sick, so I didn't get to stream last week, and that was my fault. We didn't stream last week.
I can also snag, an Armel game featuring Jen. If we want to do that.
Oh yeah, let's do Jen.
Okay, we'll do Jen. Although I don't know which player Jen is. I won't know which player she is, but Maybe that's fine. Actually, I can find out which player she is.
Yeah, the trains where people sleep, right? That's what I never understood. Like, I loved commuting by train because I would either take a nap, I'd listen to a podcast, I'd read a book, and it was my time. If I had to drive the car, then I have to be actively working. Like, driving a car is work. I don't want to work again. I've already done the work. I want to listen to my podcast. Trains rock. I love trains.
Okay.
I love the way
Okay.
every time people like going like, oh, we can have self-driving cars. I'm like, that sure sounds like a lot like a train to me.
Yes. Well, the benefit of self-driving cars, I will say, if we had magical, perfect self-driving cars, it means that I, whenever I want, can go wherever I want, and I don't need to find like a route there or like
Yeah, okay.
wait for a line to go there. And it does give me more freedom of movement than a train does. Like, I'll be fair to that concept. The problem is, a million tiny engines is always less efficient than big trains.
Yeah, I can understand.
Efficient.
Like, yeah, if you want to go a little, in rural areas, it would make a lot of sense. But if I want to get from one big city to another big city,
yeah, like why not just take a train? Trains are great. Trains are awesome. And like also the other important thing is like, why not like force me to walk? Like forcing me to walk a couple hundred meters is actually good for me anyway. People who never walk, it's not good.
It's not, and it's very enfeebling, isn't it, to not be
it just seems
walk. Yeah.
bad to never do
It's,
anything.
do you know what, and segue nicely into mahjong. If you want to be a good mahjong player, you have to take care of your fitness. That is important. That is foundational. It really is. Any of hot esports, they definitely have personal trainers, and they are looking after their diet. They are exercising regularly. They're not just sitting there in a darkened room clicking on the computer. Like, that's not how you become an elite anything.
No, that was a big deal. Stream sponsored by
Sponsored by
No, that was, but that's been a big deal actually forever. I remember like when they first started doing like League of Legends stuff with having the teams there. They first got them all personal trainers and stuff. They're like, you have to be in decent shape. You can't just like you can't just be a blob that sits around clicking a mouse all day because then you can't handle because it's work. Like when you're at that level, and this is the thing that people don't always understand is when you're at that level, it's not just play, it's work. You're a media figure. You're playing when you want, how others want. When others want, how others want, on film like others want. Like people talk a lot about filming mahjong. Like if you really want to film mahjong seriously, it's actually not fun. It's not as fun as you might think.
You got 5th out of 72, Troll. Well done,
you. Oh wow,
that's a real achievement. But yeah, I think I think if you are coming out of a competitive game, not like your casual friends with your games, if you're coming out of a properly competitive game and you're not exhausted, you probably haven't played good mahjong.
Agree. It's really fucking draining. Like it's hard to even explain because it doesn't feel, again, as someone who has done some measure of physical exercise and stuff, like it doesn't feel draining. What you're doing isn't physically draining to you, but then after you've done it, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, your brain's a muscle, and all of your muscles need to be in top condition. You need to have a base level of regular movement.
A steady diet of tiles. Just eat the tile. So let's see. We got Jen here in this game.
I'm pretty sure we're sitting in Jen's seat because it's the only one about
we are
a
sitting
ranking.
in Jen's seat. Yeah. We are sitting in Jen's seat.
Okay.
So I got that set up.
Okay. Great.
And this hand, I hate it. It's full of all garbage. We got one Dora jammed in there, so I can't just entirely hate it. So much
hand chans is tough, Granny. So Granny's coming to the Cardiff event, the inaugural Welsh event in a couple of weeks. It's going to be her first event. Super excited to see you there. But yeah, 5 hand chans is tough. Like it drains me. Really, really, really drains me. Yeah. Hydrate is a great
yes.
Like because you sit there and you don't like. Yeah, if you exercise, you think I better drink some water. But if you're just kind of sitting there, I kind of wish people had told me this when I was doing my school exams, actually, because I really just ate that crap.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Good diet, good hydration, good posture. Good posture helps. All these things will help you make it through. And then the more you do it, also, it's a little bit like exercise. The more you do the better you get at it.
Not wine.
Not wine. Don't drink. Don't do it, Gemma. Doesn't drink wine. All right, let's look at our first draw. What are we doing here? I know you're going to say we're folding.
It
is East 1.
Yeah. I'm not, as you said, I'm not excited. I'll keep an eye on 987 Sanshoku, and I will keep an eye on a value group. So it's one man or north. And
Yeah,
then, but it's really
stupid.
like, I'm going to make a decision on the next 3 draws, I think.
Yeah. All right, 3-4 isn't so bad. One man comes out. Right?
Yeah,
These are pretty rational
yes,
cuts.
basically what I said, right? But you've
Okay,
got
5-6 puts our Dora in a
you've
decent
got to
group.
remember, me and Jen have been trained by the same groups of people, so I think you're going to get some similar answers out of both of us. See, I probably wouldn't have done that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say the South was a hope for you because you are South.
Yeah,
And then the dealer grabs it, which makes me nervous.
yeah. I mean, in retrospect, seeing that the dealer's that aggressive is probably useful information, but I would have thrown the green or the red dragon before the South, because I'd assume it would be a safe one for me in the future.
And now we have this pin suit Itsu forming up vaguely. Not really forming, it's like looming.
But you have
To
that
fill in our 789, which is great.
9 pin, which can be an exit route.
Yeah.
Do I like that?
Now the dealer draws and immediately discards Dora. So this is where I'm feeling like this is a Tenpai dealer on something fast.
I think they're going for a flush.
You think they're just pushing a flush real hard?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jen seems to decide that they're cutting the 8, and she's cutting the 8-9, which I think is rational because the 7 is still usable.
If anyone here is a little bit new, if you're going to cut one of those sort of 8-9 or the 1-2 shapes, the accepted theory is that you discard from the 8 or the 2 first. You see what I mean? The logic being that the 8 is more likely to be dangerous than the 9. So if you decided to cut that group, you start with the most dangerous tile first. I think that was something that has shaped out, having taught people a lot, that there's not this sort of accepted wisdom. So when you're reading Japanese theory, or you're talking to a Japanese player, that's one of those accepted theories I don't think has kind of reached the West.
What, the cut 8-9 from the 8?
Yeah, exactly. Or the 1-2 you cut from the 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about I feel like that's such an interesting little micro optimization. And yeah, it's all about the idea that like if a tile's going to become dangerous, the 8 will become dangerous before the 9, and so we throw the 8 first just because we're trying to get rid of a dangerous tile before other people might want it by as even one go around is like a valuable optimization.
But then it's interesting as well because you can use that, if you are playing against a Japanese player or someone who has that received knowledge, and you see an 8-9 come out, you know that they've cut a group from their hand.
Yeah. You know exactly what they did.
And that means that they might not be in a very good shape. They've had to cut a whole group. They're probably not moving all that fast yet.
Or other groups are doing better. Because this still allows her to accept the 7, which is fine. The 1-4-7 are still, if you have 4 obvious groups.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're still, if you have 4 rather than, I'm not sure why you'd be cutting a group at all if you only had 5 groups. I'm not quite sure why you'd cut the 5th one, I guess.
Yeah, explain us.
But yeah. I mean, if you thought that you could upgrade, then of course, then you cut from.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. If I'm cutting a 1-2 just because I don't like a 1-2.
Oh, okay. So
then maybe I cut the 1 before the 2 in case I draw 4 and then have the 2-4.
Right. Okay. Group. So if you need to wiggle into some more value, or you need to get into a particular yaku you're searching for, then yes, of course, you'd cut the 1. It's again, it's received knowledge until you need to disregard it, right? Like Suji, unfortunately.
So here we got the 6 to close the 5, 6, 7. We throw the 3.
Yeah, exactly. So Jen kind of here is displaying the same sort of wisdom, that she's already decided she's not going to keep that 3, so she throws it before the 9.
Yeah. Because the 3 would be more dangerous than the 9 overall. So let's get rid of a more dangerous tile first. We get 5s paired up, so now we throw the 9 because we want to keep the 5s. Now we have 5, 5, 6, 7. Now we have one too many groups at this point, so we're gonna have to get rid of one of these groups at some point. The 2, 3, the 5, 6, the 3, 4, and the 6, 7. One of them has to go, but we don't know which yet, and we haven't had to decide yet. It's almost definitely not going to be the 5, 6 because Dora. It might be the 2, 3 because the 2, 3 overlaps with the 5, 6 a little bit.
But the 2, 3, if you get the 4, becomes a 3-sided weight. Further, you're more likely to win on a 1 than you are a 2.
Yeah. So here we walk 7, 8, 9 over to 6, 7, 8, and we're in Tenhou town. Our dealer pongs the 9 so.
Yeah, so they've been throwing out a lot of bamboos over here. So my first worries about flush aren't valid. So I guess it must just be a toy, right?
It might be a really quick
It's not a really
toy.
quick toy. It's a super
No, it's
slow
not a real.
toy, right?
Oh, sorry. It should be a really aggressive toy.
Aggressive, yeah. I'll give you that.
I'd say Honroto, except for all the honors they've thrown.
Yeah.
Like Honroto would be value there, where I'd be like, that's scary. So maybe it's just toy. So here with the second 7, Jen decides to cut the 2-3 set, starting from the 3.
I'm not entirely sure I agree with that, but she's cutting in the same way as you would if you were cutting an 8-9 set. You cut from the center,
Yeah.
move your way out. Which is I think it's different. So when I'm teaching beginners, often I say, if you're not sure what to discard, you discard outside in, right? But then once you decided you're going to discard a group, you go inside out.
Inside out. And now we get a reach from West, who has very conventional looking discards. I don't see any clear indication of what West is up to here.
No.
Everyone plays safe. Jen can continue cutting the 2-3 set because 2's safe on West anyway, so we all play safe. Now what? The 2-man is reasonable.
Is it no?
I see 3-3-mans out, so there's it's a 1 chance on that 3-4, but the reach tile was a 3, which could have been cutting 3-3-4 into a 2-5 weight. She gets away with it.
Is anything more reasonable?
Is anything more reasonable?
That's a good question. Let me have a look.
6-man in theory.
6-man in theory, but I'd probably be tempted to throw the 8 bamboo. Because the 5 just came out and the 9s are, because the 8 is effectively the end of the suit now. Because you can see 3 of the 9s.
Yeah, the 8. Well, that's about as, yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it said 6 in theory. But I feel like if you're throwing the
9 and 3 both
if you're throwing the 2-man, you're going for it, right? Like for me, I fear that this is your classic. It's a classic Pinfu kind of discard pool, which is why I'd be very hesitant to throw that 2-man. She said it could be a 3-3-4.
Yeah,
very easily, right? Very easily. I guess it could be 2-3-3. Right.
It could be 2-3-3. Waiting on the 1 or the 4. I mean, it could be a few different things. Again, my thinking on the 6 is just 9 and 3 are safe. It's Suji on both sides, so unless they've got like a 5-7 weight, and you can see 2 of the 5s and 2 of the 7s as well. 6 has some logic behind it. It's kind of killing your hand, which is a downer.
You are folding at that point, yeah, but
yeah.
I just don't know how you're going to get this. Like, unless someone dares to throw the 8 pin, the Suji on the door.
Yeah.
I don't.
I can't throw any of these pins. They're all too dangerous. I could throw. Hey, Yoko. I could throw the 8. So the 8 also we got the 2, we got the 5. But we go for it with a 2, but they immediately sumo on a 3 pin. It was a 3-6 pin weight. Reach sumo.
So they had 2. So they had 3-4-4, and then they made it into their pair. So we weren't wrong that was where something shaped up. That's where the hand made its final shape, just because it wasn't. That's the risk, right?
Yeah. Well, you can never know anything for sure with discards like that. You get a vibe. You let the vibe guide you. But I don't think we were going to throw the 3 or the 6 anyway, no matter what.
No.
So it happened. Mangan sumo. Boop. Not awesome for us. Not the worst for us. What do we got here? This is not the worst hand at all.
Not for your dealership, yeah.
Yeah, because we can just grab the hots and run. We got a Dora in here. We got a complete 1-2-3. We got a pair. What do we throw? We probably throw the south or the...
Yeah. Or not the north. Not the north.
No, it's the Dora.
Yeah, I know. Just people have this habit of throwing north. If north's the Dora, you can...
Yeah. People have a habit of just throwing north. They go, no one needs north. And then you look at the indicator. You're like, oh. This is an interesting one, though. What do we do here? I hate being forced to throw a 5 pin right now. But I guess I could throw an 8.
There's not red 5s in this one, right? Because it's armor. Armor.
Yeah, there's no red 5s.
Yeah.
Maybe I throw the Chun.
Yeah.
I just want to really avoid throwing a middle tile so early that it gives the game away.
I'd throw the Chun. I mean, you've already got your Hatsu.
Yeah, the Chun. Chun comes out. The 1 can come out. We don't need it. We have the 4. West can go.
This is the
One pin
problem.
can
You draw a
go.
hand that you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna go
Yeah, you're
somewhere.
like, it's happening, and then you're just like, nothing. The
Jordan.
East can go.
Yeah.
The 9 pin can go.
Oh no, Jen.
We
This is not how you
we
play
grab our
mahjong.
hots.
You have to draw better tiles. Didn't they tell you that?
A north comes out. We have one north out. So we throw the other north to keep a 4-5. Not unreasonable given that we've
Oh,
waited this
definitely.
long.
No.
Our hope is gone.
It's just come out. This is the time to do it.
The other chun, the third north. Yeah, north is now dead.
Should
We
have
don't
cock
want
sheet.
7,
Yeah,
7. Should have cook sheet, honestly. A reach from north, but we're just playing it. The 8's safe anyway. 4, so we throw the 1, we walk it over. That's fine. We call the 3, throw the 8, so they dealt a 5 so that's at least got some cover to it.
Early 5 so as well, so
north wins on just reach. So they sneak a 1,300 point win back out from under us, and we do not sneak our 1,000 point hand out, and we lose our dealership. Simply, produce the appropriate tiles. You just gotta get the right tiles.
Can you look at this card pool again? Oh, it's okay. No way. I just thought that, I don't know, if I was the North player there, I would have tried to eke out a little bit more value.
Yeah, it's a little bit
I guess when you see 2 Norths down, like how are you going to eke them more value out? Well, if you had no, if you had 2, 3, you could get yourself into a pinfoo situation.
Oh yeah, that's true. You could have waited a little bit to try to get to pinfoo. Because like coming out of this shape.
But what you're waiting for, then you have Ricci pinfoo. I mean, it's not much more, but you could have damaged a pinfoo.
Well, they've thrown the 1 already.
Oh, they did. They did too.
Yeah, they threw the 1 to keep the 9s. See, this is where you probably would have wanted to throw the 8 instead. If you're like 9s are my pair.
Oh, I see. They got 1, 2, 2 and an 8, 9, 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thrown the 8 because the 7 can fit somewhere already. The 7 already completes something.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to articulate. I think they're keep the 1 and throw the 8.
And then they immediately get the 3, so they're sad and regret it.
I mean, you can't know that you're going to get the 3. It's just that a pair of 2s is an easily upgradable shape compared to an 8, 9, 9 shape, right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your work, Yoko.
Oof. Oh, no worries, Yoko. Yeah, sorry work's been such a bad. It's a fun season for everyone. All right, so we go reach. All right, cool. So we've lost our dealership. This is a shame. What do I think of this hand? Is not the worst.
Is it not? This is not the turnaround hand.
No, this is not the big comeback hand, but we're not that far. We're still tied for second place right now. So like, We drop our west. We could. It looks like it's trending a little chanty. Oh no, it's not. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. All right, we got some shapes here. Okay, we got a door. Here we go. Within our first 6 draws, we've gotten to a nice proto pinfoo. We have 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 4, 4, 7, 8. Not bad. I think that's fine. Pinfoo Dora. We got our 3, 4, 5 done. We're Ishan 10 on it. We don't need the 3. And here we go. Reach. So we got Reach Pinfoo Dora.
I would have got rid of the East when it was thrown by East, probably.
When was it thrown by? Oh yeah, one round earlier. So we got Reach. We got Reach Pinfoo Dora, but let's see if we get it. Dealer's still attacking. Where are our... Oh, there we go. The dealer ends up throwing our winning tile. So that comes out of the player in first, which is good for us. And it is Reach Pinfoo Dora, 3 and 30, 3,900. We get 4,900 for 1,000 back, which brings us up to 31, 9, and the dealer down to 32, 8. So we are real close now to first place. I think that was a good pull. It solidified second place, gets us close to first place.
This is a
Not
more
bad.
interesting draw.
Yeah, what do we do here?
I'm tempted to be super aggressive on it.
Just grab the East and go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that.
It looks like
oh
a very
wow, look at all these pairs.
It looks like a very callable hand.
This is a very like toy-toyable hand. We could just call for East Toy and just like brute force this through. Oh, the cyber attack. Yeah, there was a big thing, and then that job posting MGM put out, which was like ridiculous.
Who suffered a cyber attack?
Oh, a casino had all their systems locked out.
Oh, really?
yeah, they got wrecked.
Oh no.
And then they put out this job post. It was like, we need to get onto Red Hat or something, and their job post was like, we'll pay you $100 an hour. We don't care if you only work a day or two. You have to fly out to Vegas and work for us. I'm just like, this is a recipe for disaster. You can't. It's like saying like, I need all the cabinetry in my house done. I'll pay carpenters per hour. We'll just get 50 carpenters, and they'll all like, if you only nail up one cabinet, that's fine. Just nail one up and leave. And it's like, you can't do that job that way. You know, you need like a plan. It's not just like a how many humans can we get in the room and then it'll get done sort of gig.
I mean, that kind of sounds like. And I'm sorry if this is your employer. They didn't have a good plan for a cyber attack and a recovery plan.
Gig economy. No one does. No one ever has a good plan for a cyber attack, because it costs money to plan.
Okay. Well, then maybe I'm in an overregulated country, but certainly the industry that I have worked in, recovery plans are a big deal. Cyber attacks, big deal. You know, and like it's nothing. No one makes decisions once it happens, right? You call up the people you got the insurance with, and they just, pile in their teams and they start unpicking it, right? But then, okay, I guess the negative here is that I'm pretty sure that plenty of bribes, or whatever you're going to call them, have been paid out to cyber hackers.
Yeah. I mean, if you're dealing with finance or banks, it's true, because everyone is aware of the risk level and the money level. And
but you'd think that a gambling outfit would be aware of the same level of risk to them.
You'd think, but they're far more profit oriented and far less regulated. Yeah. So when you tell them, hey, you're going to have to spend $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, $2 million.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're talking about millions, surely.
Yeah, investing in a what if that has never happened to you before. And this is what I saw at a lot of companies when I did this for work. They'd just be like, we could, but what if we just didn't?
Right. But the thing is, if you get the cyber attacks are inevitable now, you're not going to avoid them. So when the inevitable happens and you're facing having to pay millions of dollars to have your files unlocked.
But what if we didn't and saved all that money?
And it's not even just having them unlocked. You've got to put your systems back together.
Yeah, but what if we didn't and we saved millions of dollars a year and our profits were bigger?
This is why capitalism doesn't work.
No, I heard capitalism is the greatest system ever devised by man. That's what I heard.
I'm pretty sure Adam Smith did not. This was not his vision. I'm going to say that. This is not his vision.
The whole thing is a fraud.
Okay.
Like anyway, I don't want to get straight up.
No.
What I do want to comment on. So we have 5 pairs.
Yeah, so this is a good point to look at, because I think everyone has the same question and same problem. At what point do I call for Toy?
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation. I'm gonna put the first thing out there. I'm tempted to call for Toy just because I have a value on it. If I didn't have 2 Easts, I wouldn't be as tempted.
Yeah. Having the 2 Easts gives you a way to like run this out.
And the other thing it gives me is flexibility. If I can call the the 2 Easts, then I don't even have to go Toy. Let's say I do draw that Dora, or I don't have to have Toy. I can have East Dora. Okay, it's not as good as East Toy, but it's still value. So I guess what I'm saying here is I'd be tempted to call for Toy if I can get the East as my first. As this person's,
if you can lock in the value of Toy past Toy,
then I'm probably going to call out for Toy. If I didn't have a value pair, I probably would sit tight for 7 pairs. But I'm not always
feel like
right.
Fourth discard
I don't like 7
pairs. Fourth discard no onco is so aggressive to call for Toy. It just seems like, if I had a concealed and I was getting my second. I'd be much more interested in that.
I feel like if let's say my first call isn't a value honor, or something valuable too, that conveys to the table, or I've got something, then they're gonna know
Yeah,
I'm going for
yeah.
toy. Just calling east, that doesn't actually tell them where I'm going.
True, true. Calling east is a good what's it called? A good disguise.
Hmm.
Because anyone's gonna call east. Like calling east is a
So
pretty
EMP, you're
generic
gonna do
move.
what? You're gonna call the east?
You're gonna do EMP.
You
EMP
call
wants to
the east.
call.
Okay. I think
EMP's
call the
EMP's
east.
going for
We
it.
should have a little.
I don't think it's. I don't think I'd call it a bad move to grab the east
Can
here,
you not do
specifically to
like
what you said. It
a
is the
poll?
east.
Do you call the east?
Oh, I don't know if I can do an easy
Oh, that'd
poll.
be awesome. Yeah.
I don't
I
think I
want a
can.
Twitch
Can I
poll.
do that?
I want to know if people would call the east where they go for 7 pairs. Yeah.
Can I do?
Come on.
I'm seeing if I can do a poll. I'm gonna see. Is it possible? That's because it's definitely call here.
Yeah, I'm cool. Cool. And I'm not sure that's where
No,
we've all
I don't
got
have an
like
easy way to
trauma
do
from
it.
having to try and go for 7 pairs and just watching our 7 pairs in our discard
The
pool.
easy. Where is this easy poll option? I would use it because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, we don't have a mod. It's all right. We're not big enough for mods. That's for people like Jen. Jen's big enough for a
We
mod
gotta get big
now.
enough for mods. I need mods. Where is streamer dashboard? Where is streamer dashboard a different thing?
Dave's furiously. It's slash poll.
Oh wait.
Everyone else knows how to
But
Twitch better than you.
I'm there. I'm at my dashboard.
Is
I don't
is it
see
because
polls.
you're not an affiliate or partner or whatever? Probably.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. We're not important enough to have fancy features, so sorry, we're just gonna take your
Oh, boo, Twitch,
boo.
boo. Well, that means we have to stream more and get more viewers.
You've
So
been saying that for years now, and we never
I
stream more,
know
and
it's just
we
a matter
never
of we
get
have
more
a lot of
viewers.
stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do.
I just don't want. I wouldn't want to become someone who just tires of streaming.
That's true. It's nice.
It's
It's nice
nice
to just have
just to
fun with it
have a
every
nice
time
time and not expect
and
that we're
not
going to
become.
become rich and famous from
Well, it's
Twitch
not
or
about that. It's just
TikTok
like
or
I don't know what
anything.
an audience wants. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Right.
so what happens
Anyway,
here?
everyone agrees that we should call. Let's see what Jen does.
She passes.
Ah.
And smartly or not, maybe a little sadly,
She gets 7 pairs.
grabs the last tile she needs for 7 pairs and reaches for 7 pairs on West, which is a great weight for 7 pairs,
Is
in my
wait,
opinion.
is it? Is it? I'm gonna. Sorry, Jen. If you're watching, I just feel if you reach West is her seat win
Partner
right
affiliate
now,
channels.
and I would be
Oh, that's
interested to see if
true.
someone would throw the West into the reach for the person whose seat wind it is. Right?
Channel needs a roster of hosts. Yeah, I mean, a channel. Well, some people can do well with
I
one
mean,
channel.
I wouldn't. I'm not saying that I wouldn't wait on the West. I just probably wouldn't reach it.
You just dominate it.
Yeah, and then let's say I get the 3, then of course we have another revisit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Jen is obviously an excellent player, so
Well, she goes there. North continues pushing, which is interesting. Our player to our right is just muscling forward. Oh, she would have sumoed it right there with the 4. So clearly this was the wrong choice because she would have
that's the
sumoed.
problem with 7 pairs, right? Everyone knows this. As soon as you try for 7 pairs, you just watch them go past in your discard pool, right?
Yeah.
But
then our player left does throw the West. Looks like they were trying to bail anyway. And they were trying to play safe, and they end up throwing the West to play safe.
I'm not sure player on the left if West was a safe tile to throw into the player who was
West. What else did they have to deal with? That's the other question.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They had a pair of them too.
Oh, okay. They had a pair of them.
Yeah. That's a rational choice. And you fell into a tricky trap.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else. I mean, you could have thrown the 4-pin and just folded through.
It's true. It's like if you are full,
but they had 2 Dora, right? They had 2 Doras. Oh no, 1 Dora.
They had a Dora. They had a Pinfu shape. They could have also thrown, I guess, a 1-man.
Could they?
There's nothing overtly safe about that.
And they do have 2 Wests. They do have 2 Wests.
Yeah, so it's not just a loose. No, it's not a crazy. It's not a crazy throw. It's just rough. So they get nailed for another 3,200 points, which brings Jen into first place, and drops them down into last place. Shun is Adora here today, and this hand does not look very exciting to me at all. We're in South 1. I don't really love this.
All right.
What do you do
It
here?
it looks very similar to the starting hand now. I feel like we had south and west, and I was in south before. Oh, we had
I
south
guess
and
you could
north. We had
throw
south, north, green, red.
you could throw
Yeah.
hots. You could throw one.
I just throw the west, surely.
He throws the west. Yeah, the west, the thing that's not meaningful at all. You throw the hots because that's not meaningful. You throw the one pin. You throw the one man. We throw the fun. Guys, I guess Pinfu Ipeko is any value if you want it. All right, we got a pair of south and south round, so we could try to like
Bye,
speed
Yoko.
this
Good
out.
luck.
Chito again. Yeah, good luck, Yoko. Chito
I know,
again. Maybe.
but that's. Do you
Maybe.
not find that when one Yaku like it just chases you, right? You're like it stalks you through the game. Is that just me?
But we throw the Chun to keep the
That's just
south.
me.
I don't know if I would have done that if I was thinking of Chitoy.
Well, one's already come
Although a
through,
Chun one's already come out, yeah.
but it is Dora.
Now
I
the
don't know.
third.
Yeah, I
They're
probably
out.
would have held the Chun personally.
We got 5-6. It looks like she's thinking about calling the south and making a run for it. Disassembling the 2-4-6 shape.
Yeah.
Taking it down to a pair 4-4. Now we have 5 pairs again. Oh, and we whiffed a pair. There was our Chitoy right there. Haku's coming out as is. Okay, so now's our decision point. Right? We have 4-5-6. So we're taking apart the 4-mans here. And we're gonna hope to snag a south, I think. But north just sumos. Just plain sumos.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that.
Sumo
So
Tanya.
I don't really, you know, I just, yeah, I haven't actually ever watched a multi-host channel ever. I've only ever watched individual channels, but I don't really like the big streamers anyway. Like, don't know.
I don't quite get the appeal of the bigger streamers,
No,
but
like you're just in a
I don't know.
room and it's just a lot of people talking, right? Constantly, right? But yeah, I've definitely, if I've ever watched like Final Fantasy
I
14,
think if you're gonna do a multi-host channel, what you want is for the content on the channel to be what's appealing, and they're all like on topic.
yeah.
If it's 5 different hosts who all talk about the same thing, and I love that thing, and I'm always interested in like in that thing. You know, like if let's say F1 racing is an example, and I have there's a few different hosts. Like I don't even know. The thing is, I don't know if that works because a lot of the streaming thing is I like this host
Yeah, like I always
and
felt like
not
Twitch
like
was that when you remember when we were in school and like you went to LAN parties, you went to your friend's house to watch someone play a game and you weren't playing the game yourself. That's always what Twitch felt to me. Like I was sitting next to my friend and we were just playing a game and having that experience together. But to have a
yeah
multi
yeah.
a
See, I
multi
could see
yeah, a
that.
multi-host channel, then I'm losing that vibe, right? That sort of intimate vibe. Mm.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like how do you turn that into? I mean, mass appeal is always a little weird, and the other weird thing about mass appeal is like it's cyclical.
Yeah.
Like if you had 1,000 viewers, then like people watch just to see what's going on, and because you're popular, it's network effect. Because you're popular, people are like, well, I should be there because it's popular.
But that said,
I
I
don't know.
do watch Amaranth every now and then. Not recently. She's
You
not
do.
doesn't do stuff, but I don't even know why I watched that.
Oof. Oh my god, this is a brave gen discard. Let's do this. First discard is the Dora North. Just right out the
I
gate. She
mean, it
could have thrown
doesn't
that 9
really
pin.
fit, I guess.
It doesn't fit, but this is an aggressive, bold
But
discard.
okay, but
Yeah, the
I think
Dora's
this is
dead.
a good point though, because people come and they listen to me talk and they listen to you talk, and they might walk away thinking, "Oh wow, that's the only way to play mahjong." But Jen's a professional in Japan. She plays high level games all of the time, and she just thinks
Didn't she write a book called The Only Way to
she
Play?
wrote a book. So obviously there are multiple different answers. Like the way to get victory is not just one journey. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. There's different ways. So yeah, I mean, you can disagree with a choice. I fear sometimes that there is, especially when people are looking at the heavy stats, that they're looking for the correct route, the correct thing in situations. I'm not sure that exists all the time.
Well, there's definitely like a strain, a streak, a headspace maybe
Mm.
in mahjong players that I see of people who are like okay, here's a situation I don't understand. Take it to the AI.
Mm.
The AI will tell me the right
Mm.
answer. And like picking the statistically best answer in all cases. Like, I feel like, I mean, we've talked about
Mm.
this, but I still feel like that knowing that answer is a good tool in your tool belt,
Oh
but it's
yeah,
not all there
it's
is to the
it's it's
game.
definitely something you should look at. It's just not the be all and end all because the AI can't play the person yet.
No.
Yet.
And this works great if you're ladder grinding
Mm.
because every game is a random assortment of people. So you kind of factor out, you can
Mm.
kind of factor out the other players into nothing
Yeah.
and just do the statistically best thing all the time because the other players are just static. They change. Well, they're not. It's
Yeah.
interesting that I'm saying the word
Mm.
static, and I don't mean static in the sense of unchanging. I mean static like television static. You know, like there's no. If you're playing as different people every single game over the course of 10,000 games, you can't say, "Oh, my opponents might do this."
Mm.
Because the opponent changes so often that it is not understandable. It's not
But
predictable.
then, so that's why you'll see different stranger play maybe to our eyes in M League. If you're used to just playing the ladder on Mahjong Soul or Ricci City or
Mm,
Tenhou, and then you watch M League, you'll be like, well, none of the play that I witness in those rooms, the ladder rooms, bears any resemblance to that. But that's because all the M Leaguers, they know each other. They know how each other plays, and they're trying to beat that.
yeah, they're trying to
Yeah.
engage and outwit the
Hmm.
person because that's how that can work because it's the same. Pardon me, it's the same people all the time,
Exactly.
and that's going to be different. But I still say I still would agree. Knowing the
Hmm.
stats, knowing the statistically best answer is a very good thing to know in
Oh
your
yeah,
head.
of course, of course. I'm not,
It's
but it's
it's
like
it's
poker. No one's going to tell you not to use the stats in poker.
it's
That would be crazy.
it's maybe a little bit like
Mm.
dance too. Like you know the steps of the dance, but if you're really good at the dance, you're improvising a bunch
Yeah,
too around the steps of the dance, which you still know. And
exactly.
you'd never tell someone
That's a
like,
great analogy.
don't learn the
That's a
dance,
great analogy.
but you would say that when you really know the dance, you don't actually have to follow
Is
the
it like
dance.
jazz? Like there's a
I don't know
there's a
anything about.
structure
I
to
can't claim to know
jazz, but
anything
then
about
you do
jazz.
like you go off structure. I don't know. Someone who's more musical can tell me if that's a
So
good analogy or
this is
not.
something. This is a situation that's near and dear to Gemma's heart. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Look what we got. Look what we got
I
here.
mean, I love a Sanshoku, but
I think the 9 pin is the right thing to throw no
yeah,
matter
I
what.
don't. And I think that's. I
But
mean,
now
if you get the 7 pin, okay, I probably
I feel
would.
like the 7 pin
No,
is
no,
the
no, stop,
magic
stop.
key.
Wait, no,
Oh,
I'm
oh,
lying.
oh.
You're the dealer. If you get the 7 pin, you just take the Tenpai and run. What am I talking about?
Oh
I
no.
know, I know, I know, I know. You're a dealer.
Oh my god, Peasanator, just do your
Oh,
best.
good luck,
We believe in
Pez.
you.
Do you know what? As soon as I'm over, I am watching your games because I am so excited for you guys. And
You will
yeah, I'm not going to
triumph.
tell you what I did in my game yesterday. I will tell you
Was it awesome?
that I'm really good at Mahjong when we're talking about Sunak and how much I hate him. That seems to energize me. But when they started talking about other things, I got really bad at Mahjong. So yeah, talk about how much you hate
That's it. Yeah,
Sunak.
get
Like
lucky.
really channel that
Yeah,
energy.
Rishi's just get angry at Rishi's man. Get really mad at him. All right, so we're throwing the 9 pin. Okay, we know what we're doing. Getting rid of this hots. Okay, so we got the non-good side. So now do we reach this or do we take the Tenpai? The answer is we Dama
Yeah.
this because I think we can still upgrade our
Oh
weight.
yeah, I mean, what if you
So
get
we're just
a
waiting on the
two
6
or a
pin.
9, and you get a 3-sided pairway? There's so many ways for this to become better. There's no way
Oh
reaching this.
no. Well, South reaches and deals right into us with the 6 pin.
But
Oof.
that's okay. I'm dealer. I've got another dealer.
Yeah, I know. It's just poor luck for South, I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
poor luck for them because they just got ready. They reach and right into our simple Tanyao for 2,000.
And that's who you want me taking the points from. Nice, nice,
Yep.
nice.
So we're now about 6,300 points above everyone near us. Oh my god. What a hand this is.
Great shapes.
Yeah, just discard the 8-man and be Ishan 10 on a 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Oh no,
No,
I'm sorry.
no,
We
no,
already have
no.
our
You're
pair
not.
of the threes. No, it's not Ishan 10. No, but
I'd throw the 2-4 pin if you're asking us. Yeah.
you throw Sanshoku?
Probably because I'm going to call it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, Bez, I love a Sanchoku, but I'm east, so speed is the primary objective now.
I can't.
See, Jen,
Well, throwing
Jen
the
is
7
keeping
isn't a
Jen
bad
is
deal.
keeping a heart in the Sanchoku.
Keeps. Ooh, this is another really interesting
Sorry,
situation.
Pez.
Like,
Yeah, and now if I'd have started throwing
now
with the
what?
2-4 pin, I wouldn't be in the situation I am now.
That's actually true. You'd have the other pair, and you
I'd
could
be
get your
like,
pin
okay,
fu
well, I'll
locked
just throw
in.
the 4 pin because I'm going to have some lovely shapes over here instead.
No, Jen's not having none of that. She's getting rid of this
That's
too.
interesting. You see, and maybe this is
Now, but
where
only
people
now does she start to
misunderstand
grow it. Now
me.
that she's Ishan
People
10.
misunderstand my love for Sanchoku because my love for Sanchoku is because usually you're playing with stronger, better shapes. However, 778 is clearly a better shape than 2-4,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Although the Dora is 6, and keeping the 7-8 does keep Dora acceptance. So
Yeah, I just would want to keep the strength. If I get another 7-man, or I get a 3-so,
well,
or I can finagle something over
this
there.
worked out very well for. I don't know. Let's review this a little bit because I feel like it's not crazy for me to say. I'd like to keep the 2-3-4 option open. I'd like to stay able to accept the Dora, so the second
Right.
7 doesn't
Okay.
really help
Okay.
me.
Right. Okay. In that case, if that's really what you want to do,
Hmm.
throw the 6-7 shape. If you
That's true.
if you want the value, you can call easier with a 7-7. If you want to call into your Sanchoku, you can call easier if you've kept the 7-7-8.
Hmm. Hmm.
If that's really your
But this
destination,
is a good shape to throw
it is a good shape,
away.
but you've already decided that you want to prioritize Sanshoku over good shapes. So throw the 6-7.
Well, not prior to Sanshoku, but also allow for the idea that Dora acceptance is important to me.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but she didn't lose the door acceptance by throwing the 7-man.
Yeah, but you're kind of just finalizing on the idea that I'm not going to need to
Right.
shift my
Okay.
pair. I think that's really what I'm
Okay.
saying is what this says is these threes, this pair of threes will be my
Mhm.
pair, and I'm not going
Mhm.
to need to shift
Mhm.
it.
But then you can
And
call
the
the
only
seven
thing that
man,
changes
right?
that is this
But then
4.
you can call the seven. So, but then okay. So let's say you've decided you're locking in the 2-4 pin, right? So so
Hmm.
then you're just assessing whether 7-7-8 or 6-7 is better. 7-7-8 is better than 6-7.
Eh,
It's going against your instincts, but you just told me that you wanted to keep the 2-4 pin. So therefore,
right.
you're.
But I'm not locking it. I'm
I'm
not
not saying it's
locking
not going
it.
to be.
I want to keep it for
Yeah,
now.
but you want. But for this discard choice, here, right here, you want to keep the 2-4 pin. Great. Let's just push that out of the way and not think about it. You're not going to do. You've already said you want to keep the 2-3-3-3-4. So then we're assessing the 2-3 man. We don't want to keep because you want to keep that as part of your sand shocker. So then we're just assessing 7-7-8 or 6-7. Seven
Right.
seven eight is better than 6-7.
Only if I'm willing to blow up everything, get rid of Pinfu, and have an open hand.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
If I'm
But then I
not
feel
willing,
if you're
if I'm not
keeping the
willing
two
to call
four,
this
if you're
hand,
keeping the 2-4, that's partly what you're kind of engaging in, no?
no,
Okay.
I'm keeping the 2-4 in case I happen to draw the 3. I don't want to miss out on
But
that
you're already so
opportunity.
close. Like I feel like if I happen to draw this, is for a hand that's not as mature as this one. You've
Oh,
already drawn a very mature hand, so you have to
I
decide on
sorry, Eddie-ism.
on the next few discards whether you're calling or not. If the 3 pin comes out, you call it right
Yes.
away. So you've already the hand is mature. You've
Do
all
I?
yes. If that's what you want.
I wouldn't want to do that. I
Okay, so
wouldn't
if
want to
you
call the
okay,
3
if the
pin.
4-man came out then and you were you were really thinking
The
of something.
4-man I'd call
Right.
because the 4-man locks it all
Right,
in.
okay.
The 1-man I wouldn't because calling the 3 pin leaves me in that weird situation where I might not even be able to
Right.
win
So
this.
you committed to call the 4-man. So then
Right?
7-7-8 is still better than 6-7.
When I'm going to throw the 7 later anyway when I get my 6.
Okay, if you get your 6. But if someone throws the 7-man, you could call that and be Tempai on your
Yeah,
Sanshoku.
but I still feel like right now in the first 3 discards I'm not thinking about calling and I kind of shouldn't be.
Oh no, I think on a hand like this, you have to have already made a decision whether you're calling or not.
Um,
And that's the thing. So if you keep your 7-7-8, you can call it for the 7-man, or you can call it for the 6-man, or you can call it for the 9-man. Whereas the 7-man you can call from anyone because you're in an open hand situation, right? You've already decided you're opening. So therefore keeping pairs to call from anyone is a stronger way to play. The 6-7 you can only call on the 5 or 8, and you can only call from the individual on the left. Of course, you can draw the 5 as she does, which is obviously better martial than me.
yeah. Well, I'm still thinking my broad tile acceptance is just better. It just feels better by
And
throwing
can
this
I? And
7.
this is not slight, Jen. If you're watching, this is not slight. I will suggest as well that keeping the 6-7 over the 7-7-8 is partly due to a more playing red fives more often.
Hmm. If you play red 5s, there's a reason for that 6-7.
Yeah,
That
if
does
this
make
was a
sense.
red 5 situation, I think that I probably would be
Yeah,
doing this more because that would give me more Dora acceptance. I'm not
See,
playing red 5,
my
so.
logic follows Jen's here
Mm.
that holding the extra 7 does not help me in the shape of this hand.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Now, drawing this forward make me real sad.
So I think we've just
Because you're right.
demonstrated
Then
that
I could've-
everyone has very, very strong views on how to play.
Yeah, very, very different views about this. But I think throwing the 4 here is the right thing once you've committed to this path. Because you don't want to backtrack. You can't backtrack. You don't want to throw it away.
Mm.
And then as soon as we get the 5, 6, 7, we say, okay, now we can either lock in Pinfu or not.
Mm.
And the answer is going to be we're not going to futz around anymore. We're going to lock in Pinfu and cut the 2
Mhm.
full. Because we got it. Like it's Pinfu, it's maybe Tenhou, it's maybe Dora. Sanchoku would take us a step
Just
back.
a note, she throws from the 4. She throws from the inside first.
Throw from the
Back to the
inside.
point I said before. She throws from the 4
And then we immediately draw the 4, which is like a little sad because we could now instead, if we cut that 7-8 wholly, be locked in on Tenhou Sanchoku.
I feel I feel like when the 5 was drawn, the Sanchoku was gone anyway. No matter what route you'd taken.
Kind of, yeah.
So
yeah, you don't really want to back down that
yeah.
far to futz around unless you're in a desperate point situation, which we're not.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and so we just reach it. We just hit the button, which is fine. It's like a 4th discard dealer reach.
Yeah, of course.
With a good weight, so you do it.
And my fear here as well is that I know 7 mana. It's just so obvious you're going to be waiting on a door.
Is it that obvious?
Yeah,
Once again,
because if you throw a 7, if you throw a 7 on your first discard, you've either got the Dora or that's the way you're going to accept a Dora. Like no one's going to throw a tile adjacent to a Dora that quickly unless they know what they're doing with it.
Unless they know what they're doing with it. Well, our player North is pushing as well, but player North deals him with a 9.
That's cheap side. That's the cheap side. So.
Yeah, the cheap side. So that's good. Again, let's see where they were at because I bet they were. Yeah, they were. They had a strong hand here that they could have really parlayed into something. It could have been like South.
Oh yeah, that's
Dora 3. Like and they need the points. They need to catch up.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused as to why the player to our right keeps like getting so aggressive and pushing when their hands are not ready to go. Especially when they take like a safe tile during a dealer reach. I feel like that's some aggressive play.
Well, I mean, they're in a position where they're like, I can't let Jen.
Yeah, I can't just allow this to happen.
To keep pushing forward. She's she's the person I need to drag down. That's probably the mentality here, right?
Jen drags herself up. And now we have... For some reason, I look at this hand and I feel like it's pretty callable, and I don't know why. I guess we have a HOTS.
I mean...
We have a 1-pin.
It's not that callable there. You got a lot of shrapnel there.
Yeah. We're just going to clean out the north. We're going to clean out the west. We got 6, 7. Okay, we got some stuff. I can see she's maximizing. She can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in theory, and these other tiles are worth far less. So maximizing what could happen here. 2 goes away. We do grab the HOTS because we're doing this. We got another 6. We're just chilling out. We got a 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay, we dropped the 2. We got 4, 6, 6, 7.
You know, it'd be interesting if Jen streamed this. We could have gone back and seen what she'd said about her play.
Yeah. What's interesting about this is it's creeping around Toy, but not quite. Okay, we call it. We're waiting on the 5-8. Easy. But now a reach. But then we just sumo. Okay. So Jen continues her small rampage here.
See, Jen knows how to play Mahjong. Just look at these tile draws. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, this came together real well out of nothing.
And this is great on your dealership as well.
But this is also, I think, a good case of maximizing your acceptance carefully. Like throwing these tiles, throwing the 9 here. The 9 can't help you. Throwing the 1 because it can't help you. Not doubling back like the 2. It's not here. We're not doing it. We grab that. We throw the chun. We're fine. We grab the 6. We throw the south because south has come out. It's dead. Continue ignoring the 2. We get our 4, 5, 6. We throw the 9 because we have 4, 5, 6, 6. We know we can pong the 1 and call the 7 to be in a decent spot. And then once we do this, we prefer the 4, 6 to the 1, 2 because 4, 6 can be upgraded very easily with a 3 or a 5 or anything like that. So we pick that set out. We now get another 4, and this is an interesting one because we kind of flatten this out. But this leaves us with a lot of Pong opportunities that get us Tenpai immediately.
Exactly.
Any of these tiles we can just call from anyone and immediately get ready. And then we call this, we call the inner one for the 4-5-6, so we can wait on the 5-8 and have both sides open. And then we just sumo it because that's just how you get good at Mahjong. So everything during the course of this hand, like when you watch this, you want to see, is about like maximizing that opportunity. And finding the best way to make sure that whatever happens, you're going to get the upside of it. All right, what do we got now? We got one Dora. Oy, this is a challenge. I don't see a lot of hope.
No, I'm not. I'm not loving this. But she's picked up a lot of points in her dealership. So
yeah, I mean, she's had a good run. So if this is the end, then this is the end. Both right and across call tiles immediately, which means this is the hand people are going to be challenging.
Yeah, and they're not calls that give them the yakka. So
across does, south does.
Oh yeah, you're quite right. Sorry, ignore me.
Right now has east and north, which is 2 empty calls. Daring throw by across of the west here. Well, I guess they've got the south already, so they can't be a great or anything. But you can see our hand is kind of moving into shape. But this is looking a lot like a flush to me. We have a concealed Anko of So tiles. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Really nervous about this 4-So. I feel like everything else we can keep in our hand, but that 4-So is going to be rough.
But you should throw it sooner rather than later, no?
Yeah, and she throws it right now. So we're now Ishan 10. It's just... There's only one option. There's 2 thoughts I have about this, which is a little interesting. I might have thrown the 7-So here.
Oh.
Because 4-5-6 Sanshoku is one of the few ways to get any value out of this hand.
I think Tenhou Dora 2 is the best option here.
We can't get... Oh, I guess we had to get rid of these ones to get to Dora. Yeah, it's just... The Dora comes out from player right and player across grabs it.
Right, okay, now you throw it, right?
I almost would have, but she keeps it.
I mean, you can still, wiggle up
and
to 5, 6, 7.
And throws it one round later.
Okay.
Player right throws the 6 and the 7. What's going on here?
7 was a draw, an instant discard. Instant.
Yeah, but I'm still like, is this not? Oh, maybe they're Tenpai now on their flush, and they've been forced.
Maybe, yeah. At least you know that your 6-7 is.
Oof. All right, fast win for player across. South
Do you
Dora,
want to see if they
three-sided
were
weight.
a flush there?
Yeah, I want to see what they were doing there. Yeah, well, they were Chanta flush. I can't even be mad. Chanta flush. That would have been.
So it was good for Jen to hold that one. I mean, that was a smart move from Jen.
Yeah, well, holding the one and throwing the door. Yeah, I guess because this player threw the door already, and they're making strong moves.
She's read the flush is happening.
Yeah, as soon as they throw the 6, it's like this flush might well be
flush is ready, yeah.
Player across looks like they have South Door 1. They don't look like they have a flush or anything else on top of it. But she's also probably thinking they probably don't have more overlap Dora power. They grabbed their Dora when they could, because if they'd already had a Dora, like they probably don't need this. And then we'll charge ahead, not throwing any So tiles anymore.
That's a great hold by Jen, obviously.
Yeah.
But then, she's seen enough, and that's such a typical flush situation that it's every other suit, the values, so the suits, and then the honors after the suits, and then the suit that they're actually waiting in. And once that tile comes out, they're Tenpai. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So that's, if you're kind of sitting here going and you're, looking to keep making those steps up, and you weren't aware of this already, if you're looking at someone's discard pool and it's suit, and then honors, you'd be
not even suit. If we look at this, it's a 1.
Yeah, 2 types of suits.
Yeah.
And then the honors come out, you're looking at a likely flush situation.
So if you want to disguise your flush, don't do this.
Wow.
Basically, because if you look not literally this, but if you look at this, you see the 1 comes out. Okay, a 1-man discard is pretty innocuous. Okay, I have an edge tile. Then a 5-man. Then a 9-pin. That's a little surprising. Because you're throwing this middle tile.
And then But
and then the hots.
it's the honors which really put
Yeah, the honors come
flags
out
up.
like later.
And I don't, I know people think, oh, I can disguise it, I can just Suji trap, blah blah blah. You cannot hide flushes as well as you think you can.
No, it's hard to
If
hide
you were playing
flushes.
it to win it and you're going to drive it in the right direction, I mean, trying to hide a flush and slow down the speed really doesn't happen often enough to worry about.
Also, like calling the North, everyone's going to be like, "Why did you just call an honor that's
Precisely.
not a value to
East
you?
is
There's
not a
got to be
value to
something else
them
you have
either.
going on."
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
two calls of non like it's. I mean, and maybe it's fine because sometimes you do just have the material where you're
Yeah,
like, I'm driving straight forward to
they
it.
were tempai, so it was good. I mean, they have every opportunity to draw a two bamboo. A
Mm.
cross doesn't seem to care. So,
No, no. Across is pushing as well.
um,
Everyone else is pushing on
yeah,
your third
yeah.
continuance, which makes a little bit of
So if
sense.
you've made that calculation, it's great. But I always, warn people. Oh, I thought I could hide my flush. You can't hide your flush.
Every once in a while, you get really lucky
Oh
and you
yeah,
can,
I mean, yeah,
and it's mostly like happenstance. Like it just kind of comes out
exactly.
that way, and then you look at your own discards and you're like, "Oh, I did it."
Exactly. Seize that opportunity. If you're like, oh, I could reach, then reach. If there's a way to
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, but generally, no, I don't think it's as common as people imagine. I think people read a little
No,
bit too much manga or watch a little too much anime and think that these sneaky things are happening a lot. Most of the time, it's just bog standard warfare. It's not exciting. You're in the trenches and you're just throwing whatever you've got over the top over and over again. Unfortunately, like every now and then, you will have those beautiful hands where it comes together and you're really, the minds are meeting and you're getting there.
Yes,
But most of the time, it is just reaching on me, Pinfu, all of the brutality of war.
eh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just not like yeah. I don't think you're gonna get the chance to be like epically tricky every hand.
No, and you shouldn't have to be.
But it's another thing where it's like being aware of what you're saying through your discard will help you in small ways. It'll help you get one extra. You'll get one extra draw. You'll get one extra move. You get one extra win. These are the little things that you get by just being aware of when you're being very vocal with your discards and when you're being a bit more secretive with your discards. Even if you're not going to have, again, like an epic manga style like confrontation every single hand. What do we do here? I don't like this.
Don't
I don't
like
like
it
this at all.
at
We're
all.
not the dealer anymore.
We're not dealer, but
We have all the points. So all we got to do is get away clean through the last two hands of this round.
yeah, unfortunately, South is in shot of you still. So you
Yeah.
don't want to. I mean, really, you'd like to move this on fast. I don't see the material to move it on fast
No.
yet. But Jen's really good at drawing tiles, so.
We cut the one. We cut our own north. Our own north, alas. Our dealer calls the hots, which is not good for us. Okay. Looks like we're pushing towards Tanya. Oh god. Okay. Ugh. Well, great. So our dealer's called Hots and Chun.
Yeah.
We now have a pair of Haku.
Well done for getting the Hakus.
So we'll now never get rid of those Hakus because we cannot.
Mhm.
It is madness to get rid of the Hakus. So we're kind of stuck. We do have the Chun that's safe, and we know that we have an East that's safe. So we'll throw that. We are grabbing the Haku. I don't know if this is wise.
I have a few thoughts. I mean, you've basically deflated East.
Well, yes and no, because they could still easily have like Hots Haku Dora 2. I'm sorry, I mean, Hots Chun Dora 2. Or something like that. Like, and that's a dealer manga.
But
that's still a big deal.
It's not a Yakuman anymore, right?
No Yakuman. Well, yeah, we popped the Yakuman, but we could have also popped the Yakuman by letting that Haku go by and then discarding Haku.
That's true.
Twice.
That's true. You keep the control then. Mm-hmm.
And I might have let it go. Oh, of course, there's still Shosangen. Like, they could still be waiting on that one remaining Haku. So now there's no Shosangen chance either. It's all gone for them. So, okay.
I think she's doing exactly what I said. She wants to keep it moving a bit faster. They are in shot of her, so don't give them the time to build a hand.
Now the dealer discards the final Haku from within their hand.
Yeah.
So they were thinking about it. All right, we're now Ishan 10 from the Gen side. If you call everyone, yeah. If you call it, everyone knows Shosangen's off the table. Everyone's aware. Everyone's more likely to push, which is maybe good because you're kind of encouraging the other players to
To
do something.
skirmish, and you're
Yeah,
kind of committed now. Once you've called the white dragon, there'll be no folding out.
yeah. We're not drawing anything we need.
And it seems like her drawing luck is gone.
A little bit. Interesting. So we hold this one, probably because it's so close to the Dora. We do not want our dealer to easily finish a
Well,
hand
I
of,
mean,
two dragons, Dora, one.
dealer has a potential here for a flush.
Oh, you're right. Dealer's discarded no man tiles at all. Then we
Yeah.
will never discard man tiles ever. Oh, here's dealer's first man tile discard, which again, terrifying.
Right at the
Like I have
center,
no
right?
interest. Yeah, I have no interest
Yeah,
in
and like
this.
Suji on the door as well. Like, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
no. This is not
no, no,
happening.
no.
Oh, we got our own 5. It'll never leave.
Well, the 5 can leave.
Oh, that's true. The 5 can leave, but we might as well hold it because we have so much stuff going on over here. The saddest thing would be if we drew that 2-man, we could throw the 8 and get Tempai,
You could
but
draw the
like, is
5
it
and
worth
get
the risk?
Tenpai.
5-man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. But we still have to throw the 1 or the 8. It's still rough.
No, if you
It's
get
rough.
the 2, then you just drop the 5 and your Tenpai.
If we get the 2, well,
And your Tenpai on the
close
7.
Tempai. That's a safe Tempai. Yeah. The better way to if we get the 2 and we drop the 8, we're Tempai on the 147, which is really good. But
you're gonna drop the 8 into this? No.
yeah, I do it with my strength. It's Suji. It's got Suji. Let's see where everyone was at here. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Waiting on only a south. A single south.
See, that's curious. Like, you're not gonna wait on the 2-5, the 2 being the Dora.
Yeah,
Do you need
like,
it? Do you
where
need it?
they
You got
went.
1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the Dora doesn't help. What, my voice?
The Dora doesn't help, and I guess their thought was south. One south has come out already. South is more likely to come out from someone than a man tile at this point because their flush is real obvious.
At this point, yeah. Yeah.
So I'd actually call that a smarter wait in this case.
You're kind of hoping that someone has a pair of Souths, right? And it's gonna like what happened to the Wests.
Like they're gonna decide they got to get out of here.
I desperate to know what my voice sounded like by now. Was it really? It wasn't like Mary Poppins, was it? I hate it when my voice does Mary Poppins.
Yeah, this is. Oh, this is player across getting real antsy and wanting to get out of here. Also, they're kind of done with this, but they throw the 7 into Tenhou Dora 3 from last place. A closed, just sitting there. Tenhou Dora 3.
That's a lovely Dama though, right?
That's a beautiful Dama.
That's a wonderful Dama because they're just looking at east.
Yeah.
That's the distraction technique, right? That's when you want to use a Dama. When you know the table attention is somewhere out. The east, they've called. Everyone's attention's over there, right?
Yeah, I might as well wait on something that looks safe to them, so someone might come to me. This is great. Yeah, East is the big scary man. And East is also big and scary because I know where all the Dora are.
Yeah.
But everyone else is worried that East has them and that their potential defeat will be even worse.
Exactly.
So that's another great thing about a closed encore like this, how much control you have. You know where all the Dora are. You're sitting there with all the info. I guess East could have one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is your Mongon that you need. This is the hand that gets you into second place right here.
Right.
Just bam.
That's a great play.
What that gets you up to 27-2. So it's only 500 points, but you're in there.
See, that's a great Dama. That's a really great
beautiful.
Dama.
4th place to 2nd place in one go. And this is great for Jen. If I'm Jen, I'm thrilled because everyone else is so close. This means everyone else can make a 1,000 or 2,000, what is it? 2nd place is 15. Well, I can just mouse over. 15,700 behind me. So like a direct Mongon hit by 2nd place will take me out of 1st. True. But other than something huge like that, 3rd place only needs a 1,000 point hand. 4th place only needs what? A like 4,000 point hand? Yeah, 4,000 or 4,100. So that's what, 3 and 40. But like both of these players are incentivized right now to make a fast, quick hand. Like if the player to my right who's been playing aggro all day makes a 2,000, 1,000 point hand, Out of this, I'm happy. My first is locked in. They're feeling relieved because they got second, and like everything's great for me. My actual competition in second place has a big road to make a big hand. The only one I got to worry about is a dealer. So like this is a great spot I think to be in going into the last hand.
Precisely. Yeah.
Oh, and look at me. I got a pair of chuns. Like now I even have the ability to just go, to just like run.
Yeah.
So we'll throw our west. Oh, I could go for a flush here if I wanted to.
I mean, so remind me, in the armor format, it does make sense for Jen to want to gather more points though, right?
Yeah, well, it makes sense on two fronts. Front number one is that obviously more points is a bigger score is better for you.
Yeah, you go up the league table, right?
Yeah, but front number two is right now, everybody, hey, Claudato, good to see you. Everyone else at the table is under 30,000. And that means she gets all the positive UMA.
Oh, right, yes.
As long as everyone stays underwater. So right now, if she can slam dunk this game and finish it, she gets maximum positive UMA, as well as all the points that she got. So it's plus, plus 12.9
so really,
now.
I mean, so when you're talking about the floating UMA, then she wants to maximize the speed because the value of the she doesn't need to build a beautiful hand. She's shutting down the game and having
down the game with everyone underwater in this case is important.
So she wants to go fast on us.
She's very incentivized to go fast.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't kind of describe. I was thinking, well, does she want to build a half flush? Does she want to take a little bit of extra time to build that half flush? The answer is no in this case, right?
Like if it happens to her, it's good, but I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you a lot of draws and discards away. Yeah, like I wouldn't be calling into it. The only thing I'd call is the red dragon.
She actually lets the red dragon go by, which is interesting. I'm surprised a little bit. 4-5, okay. 2-2-2, okay. Maybe she wanted to get a little closer. 4-5-6.
That makes sense.
Now if she calls it, she'll be ready. But now there's a reach. Well, she can throw the 5. Great, easy, nice draw. But this puts things in a tough position for her. Because now it's like, do you challenge? Okay, she's willing to throw the Suji. Reach from the dealer. So now these two players are fighting.
Yeah.
What do we do?
She's got her red dragon, so you can fold out. Fold out.
Yeah, it's fold out time. It's get out of here time because it's not worth it. But this is the worst outcome.
But that's why she didn't call the reds though, and it is the worst outcome for her now. It's not what she wanted, but she didn't throw it.
No, and it's a dealer Mangan.
Ooh.
Which brings the dealer up to what? 22, 36 and her down to 38.
So yeah, so now she's kind of in a corner, right? She has to play the next one no matter what.
Yeah, there's no getting away from playing this.
Not a bad way to draw if you have to play.
Not a bad draw. But her dream of the quick slam dunk and the maximum positive UMA has gone away.
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, it's different. You can never know whether calling that red dragon would have got her the speed she needed to. We'll never know. We'll never
thinking know. Like I feel like I might have done it, and that's because I tend towards thinking this way. But by doing it, I want to make everyone else nervous. If I make them nervous that I'm going to shut the game down, they might make a faster, cheaper hand because they feel like things have to happen and it have to happen now. So I probably would have grabbed this.
I think on this time I'd agree with you. I'd call it through.
Yeah, I see that by not grabbing it, she was able to build her hand a lot closer to the point where when she did make that lunge, she would have been just tempai immediately. It would have been. I see that logic as well. Personally, my thinking here would be the more unsettled I can make this table, the more likely that someone makes a mistake, the better it is for me. I'm going to grab. And I want them all to say, oh my God, they're grabbing. It's going to happen again. They're going to win. I'm not going to lose my chance. I got to go, 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 go. And suddenly they're thinking about making 1,000 point hands instead of building into a reach. Went the other way. Ipatsumo for the dealer. Now here we are. This is not a bad start at all. What do we ditch? We ditch our north. Makes sense. We got our 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. We're actually... We're not Ishan 10 yet.
No.
Oy, okay. We got 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we are Ishan 10, which is not bad. And if
Ishan 10 is one away for the...
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We're one away from ready. Let me be a friendly man. This is a good... Oh, no! The the worst thing to draw is that Dora, and Jen decides to just throw it. All right. Got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're Tenpai, and it's not good. We're Tenpai on nothing.
Yeah.
Sumo, we'd have to sumo this to make it happen.
But you've got, a 2 or 4 pin. I don't know. And
Yeah,
there's a lot
improve
more.
this.
There's 2, 4, 7, 9.
Here we go.
Lots of things make this better.
So now we can either throw the 8 and be waiting on 9, 6, 3.
Oh yeah.
Or we throw the 3 and we wait on 2, 5,
2, 5, 8.
She reaches this on the 8 to wait on 9, 6, 3. I don't know if I would
have
reached
Since you go
this.
9, 6, 3, not 3, 6, 9. When did you go backwards?
Because I guess the 9 is the most easily identified. 9, 6, 3. I don't know, 3, 6, 9. We're still waiting. We're waiting on those 3 tiles.
So yeah, for those this is the right play. Like if
you think reaching it, I feel like dominating
because
might be
the
right.
9 is. Oh, you mean to reach? I mean, so if you're going to choose, so I'm looking at the weights. If you've got to choose between 2, 5, 8 weight or 3, 6, 9, your 9's more likely to come out.
Yeah.
Than your 8. So therefore,
even if it means throwing an 8 as a reach tile, though. But no matter which direction you go with that, you're still throwing a tile next to your weight as the reach tile. So like there's no avoiding doing that. So yeah, it's more likely someone will think they can get away with a 9. Whew, player to my right does not care. They're just throwing that 5 pin right into it. I guess it's Suji, but that's still an aggressive play.
Now you're kicking yourself for not throwing the 3 pin though.
Well, yes and no. They're probably throwing that 5 because it's Suji on the 8. So
probably,
like they might not have thrown it if I threw the 3.
I don't know, but they're in the position where, as you said, they have to play.
They got to play, yeah.
They don't want to go down to last, and they're very easily in. Last is a reality for them if they're not careful.
But our dealer ends up throwing the 9 pin. Oof.
Good, Jen. Good.
And that gets us reach Pinfu, no Dora, but 3,000 points back from the dealer. Not enough to drive them underwater. So we end up with ourselves in first place, the dealer in a positive second place, and everyone else having a sad time in third and fourth place, separated by 500 points. Ugh. Such a tiny separation, such a big UMA. Yeah.
It's great to see someone like Jen play there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of like positional finesse that goes on with things like this. It's really interesting.
Have you got news about Jen, Dave?
I do have news. I have news about a few different things, which we can talk about with our remaining time. I have some pretty exciting news to share with everybody.
I'm excited about the Jen particular news there.
Let me do this thing. Well, it's not just Jen news. It's everyone news. It's multiple people news.
Right, but Jen is probably the most beautiful out of all the news. No,
I don't know. I think that's unfair.
Dave can't make those comments.
I can't say. It's like asking a parent.
Jen is a beautiful human.
Gemma, which of your children do you love the most?
Well, luckily, I only have one.
Exactly.
So that I don't have to have these problems.
If you had more than one, my mom just always said not Dave. But I love all my children equally, but I don't care for Dave. That's an Arrested Development gag. But we can pull this up. We've posted this, so hopefully people have seen it. But we are really excited. We are having both of the stars of Proust. It is Proust, right? Proust is how we say it.
Proust. Yeah, Proust. I always want to say it like I'm Proust.
Proust, yeah, Proust. So both Jen and Garth will be joining us at New York Comic Con as our celebrity guests, Mahjong instructors, Mahjong ambassadors, good friends. It's going to be really cool. Wait, how does Garth want to say it?
You always want to go Proust.
Proust.
And that's really weird because Garth speaks German.
Huh.
His German is rusty, but it's good. I mean, like if you ever meet his parents, like it was really interesting. I went to Garth's wedding and his parents speak fluent German, like German.
How surprising.
They were reading this poem in German, and I'm like, wow, I'm in Santa Barbara, and these people are speaking fluent German. They're Americans. They're not Germans. They're Americans. I guess they're of German heritage. But yeah, so yeah, Dave Garth's German's pretty good actually. I mean, having lived in Japan and like now just speaks Japanese, it's his third language, so it's probably quite rusty. But if you face him with words, he's good. Yeah, and
I would imagine.
his accent is really good too. So, hot tip about Garth: go and say Guten Tag to him and auf Deutsch.
Say guten Tag to Garth. I have some other exciting things that I'm just going to put
He is
together for
doing it
you
on
in a minute.
purpose. Most of what Garth does is on purpose. He's a smart guy, that man. So if he sounds like he's stupid, he's putting it on. Why is she yelling at him? So you haven't seen Jen and Garth in the same room before, have you?
um,
That's pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty good example of their relationship. Is Garth going, "I did nothing wrong," and Jen going, "Oh my God, Garth, why can't you just be not you?" That's basically
that does
that.
sound like
Is that not right? Less British, obviously.
a
But
little less
yeah,
British, a little
a
less
little less
British.
British. But Jen does a great British accent as well. So if you want to, tell her how she mocks me in British, as she says.
Okay, let me.
So what? Tell me what they're doing. Tell me what they're doing. They're
Okay,
coming
hold on.
to New York Comic Con.
I'm setting up an exciting slideshow of things. So, hold on. But yeah, they're going to be with us in New York Comic Con.
Where's my
Um,
beer? Beer, beer. That's a, and he does the finger pointing, right? Beer, beer,
because
beer,
yeah,
beer.
he will perhaps be
I
involved
don't
in
know.
a.
I don't know why he does this pointing. I've told him off multiple times. Like, don't point at people. He's like, especially when he gets like enraged at the bar and he really wants to make a point. He's like, yeah, but you're wrong because of this and this and this, and I'm right.
I have to set
Yeah.
my options up for the hotkeys to go through this image slide. This is so weird and annoying that you have to do this. Um, yeah, next slide. Previous slide. Okay, there we go. Now I have my slideshow hotkeys ready. And that means I can go through the slide. How exciting. Okay, great. And now I can get rid of this. Okay, cool. All right, good. So I can talk about these things in a minute. All right, so Jen and Garth are going to be there. They are going to.
So they're joining you for the full length of the Comic Con, right?
Yes, they are joining us for the full length of Comic Con. They will be at the booth every single day because they are the greatest and super helpful. And
I heard that Jen was going to cosplay.
Jen is
Are we
going to
allowed to, are we
cosplay.
allowed to say what she's cosplaying
No,
as? Or
no,
we that
that is a
no? Okay.
secret. We're not engaging with that right now.
Okay.
Her cosplay is her cosplay. It is as it is. I can lock things. Oh, that's very exciting.
Is Garth's not going to cosplay, right?
No, Garth
Garth
is
is
to
his
my
own
knowledge
cosplay.
not going to cosplay. But I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll be a cosplayer. Maybe we can get Garth to dress up as something. But no, we're going to be Sparrow's Nest Studio at Sparrow's Nest Mahjong. Going to be at Comic Con. We're going to be teaching people how to play Mahjong. We're going to be advertising our space and lessons and a bunch of things that we're going to be starting up in the next months.
And they're also coming to Sparrow's Nest, right?
Yes. So we're going to be doing a special event with them at Sparrow's Nest after Comic Con on either the Monday or the Tuesday. We're still figuring that out. So stay tuned to our socials because we will be able to announce that soon. So we're having a Jen and Garth special Mahjong event at Sparrow's Nest. But during Comic Con, you can come hang out with them, get some pictures, play some Mahjong, have a good time, and enter our rolling tournament to see if you can win passes to next year's Comic Con.
Ooh, that's a good prize.
It is a pretty cool prize if you can win. So all you got to do is be good at Mahjong. It's just
I want to go to next year's Comic Con. I'm not coming to this year's Comic Con.
I can't believe you're coming to this year's Comic Con.
I'm going to Cardiff.
I know.
I've been promised to Cardiff. I can't let my Welsh brothers down. I'm sorry.
This is being a good person. You made it. You committed yourself, and you can't just change. I know.
No.
I know.
And I think that Cardiff is going to be an equally awesome event, just different.
Deep in our heart, we'll just miss you.
Oh, I miss you guys too. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't seen Jen and Garth for a long time.
It's been a while, but it's going to be really cool. Cardiff ruins everything. No. Nothing is ruined. Nothing is ruined. It's good. It's good to honor your commitments, and I'm sure Cardiff will be actually a good time. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot for Mahjong. It's gonna be real cool, and you should come by if you can because there's gonna be special prizes. There's gonna be cool merch. There's gonna be Jen and Garth. There's gonna be lots of Mahjong, and we're gonna be rolling out a few different types of events.
Like, if you can get Garth talking about strategy, awesome. However, extra points if you can get him bitching about the internal politics of Mahjong in Japan. That's a good rant. I highly recommend that rant. Just poke him and say, like, oh, if you could improve Mahjong in Japan, what would you do? And he will just go. He'll just be
ask him about Kuroki's book, What Killed Mahjong?
Yeah. Or I mean, I'll give you one hot tip: do not touch American politics with him.
Oh, he will talk about that forever. And I'll talk about that with him forever, but maybe you don't want to talk about that with him forever.
No, I really no, would not recommend it. For a man who has not spent his adult life living in America, he's got a lot of opinions.
Mm,
And
I have a
and
lot of
I will say,
opinions.
and I've
We
told
both
him
have a lot of
before,
opinions.
gaining your entire knowledge of contemporary America from late night comedy variety shows, whatever you call them. He really likes John Oliver, who's not even American.
John Oliver is American now. Didn't he change?
Is he? Is he?
Didn't he
I don't know.
switch?
He constantly sells himself as being British, despite no British person having heard about him and or caring about him.
I mean, I will say yeah, he's a U.S. citizen. I was going to say John Oliver. He's ours
I'm
now. We got him.
sorry.
You can't have him
Yeah,
anymore.
but his accent. I'm sorry.
That
He
accent
must.
makes him credible to us. It's all he's got.
That's what I get. That's what I don't understand. Like Garth was like, oh yeah, he's really smart. How do you not know about him? And I'm like, that's what we all sound like, Garth. That's all of
Yeah,
us. You
that's
speak
what
to any
all
old twat on the street,
every
we all
British.
sound like that.
Well, maybe if they came here and started talking about how going 20 miles per hour isn't our national value.
Is that what I'm gonna do? Like all of you
Yeah.
English heritage folks, you can't. Did you not know?
Like, as soon as you move here, you can get a job as a professor. Like you just show up. You just show up with the accent and just talk about something, and then you're smart. You should teach at college. Not like that's good anymore. They pay you like $10 an hour, and
right. I'd be hoping for something a little bit better than
unfortunately, you think
honest.
once upon a time that was a good job.
No, it looks like shit now, right?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. You don't want to do it. So we got some other exciting things happening.
Right,
now
okay.
that I'm done screaming at UPS. Now that I'm done, I'm not done screaming at UPS. Actually.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. The UPS problem solved?
As far as I'm aware, Jam, I got to have US history and then just talk. Yeah, that's exactly her jam. Oh, I got to put this behind things. Let me make. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you got pictures. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I want to move this to the top. Here we go. I'm sorry. I'm moving the chat box. Here we go. Pew.
I know nothing about US history. Like I've got information about US history.
So this is a picture of a bunch of stuff.
So the picture of bad life decisions, Dave. That's what that is. That is one big bad financial decision.
Not a picture of bad life. These are great life decisions. This is a picture of a bunch of stuff that's coming to Sparrow's Nest.
Yay!
We'll be posting this on our socials soon also because it's really cool. But this is a picture of 5.
I am quite concerned about the stacking of the boxes in the background though. I'm just going to say that. Like
that's
that does
not my press. That's their warehouse. That's not my problem.
That's their warehouse. That's their problem.
Yeah. This is an initial order.
Initial order.
It's an initial order.
Never
well, I mean,
change,
the first order is
change.
always the initial order, right? You can always say the initial order. Yes, Look, it's their warehouse. I'm sure it's fine. I actually
how much the shipping cost?
do not know how much just the shipping cost at this point. It turns out we got a huge discount on the shipping due to a bunch of factors. So we actually ended up getting a huge savings on the shipping. But I don't actually know the precise part of the shipping yet because that hasn't been worked out.
That is the problem when you ship these, and we found that before. Like you kind of guesstimate using the like calculator on the website, but you never really know until they come and pick it up in their van.
Yeah, and then they're like, "That'll be $1 billion," and you're like, "Wait,
right.
what?"
What exactly? And it never seems to be consistent either. Like I've shipped a few of these, and like each time it's come out different, and I'm like, there just is no rhyme or reason to how this works.
It's a little tricky. So yeah, the final numbers are not yet set in stone because of a bunch of things. So these boxes, I've been spending time on the phone screaming at people. They were stuck in customs for a while. Like the UPS customs facility in Kentucky just got totally wrecked by weather. And then, so everything was delayed. And then they were like, please certify your chemical products. I was like, these are not chemical products.
But they kind of look like chemical product boxes though,
What was weird was they gave me the certification form. And it's like, you can either positively certify or negatively certify. But like in this case, what's up?
It's because they're built by Tenhou chemicals.
Oh, that might be why. Yeah, maybe because it comes from Tenhou chemicals. Like, oh, these must be chemicals. We don't know what's in them. Yeah, that's probably what happened. But the interesting thing about this form is you can either positively certify saying these are chemicals that abide by the rules that you need for chemicals, or you can negatively certify. But negatively certifying says these are chemicals that are exempt from the rules. But I needed to do neither. I needed to neither positively nor negatively certify because these are not chemicals. These are, as defined by the law, articles.
Well, that they're just plastic. I
They're
mean, they're
things.
not
They're, yeah,
liquid. Yeah.
the article is anything that is not a chemical substance, nor design, nor like performs a chemical reaction as part of its natural operation. And I'm kind of like, everything's a chemical substance, isn't it? Like when you think about it. But
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, plastics are, yeah, chemicals.
yeah.
Yes.
So I had to go through that whole dance, which was really annoying. And I had to talk to UPS about a lot of things, which is also really annoying. But it got through. It's on the move. These boxes are coming soon. We should have at least a couple of these at Comic-Con to share with people. But
The government
there's
did
some
build
more
them.
exciting things. What the outside of the boxes is cool enough, right? We got a bunch of auto tables. That's
I
really
am
neat.
quite
But
excited. Are you going to do an unboxing video?
well, we're gonna do a lot of video about this. This is gonna be great.
Awesome. Okay.
But what's inside the boxes is interesting as well.
Yeah.
Because first of all, for use at Sparrow's Nest, we have
This
custom.
is why Dave has been off the grid for the last
Oh
few
yeah,
days.
this is why I've been working on all this stuff for a while. We got custom Sparrow's Nest one-sos with a sparrow on it. I believe we can explain that the choice of sparrow is actually very exciting. Hello, Kalatengu.
And you know what? I like the way the Joker sparrow looks kind of smug.
Yeah, the Joker.
I don't know why he
sparrows,
looks smug, but he does to me, no?
The Joker sparrows. It looks a little bit like that bird in that comic. The bird from the comic.
Yeah.
The other bird like yells over him all the time.
He does. Yeah.
He looks a little like. So we have custom Sparrow's Nest one-sos. We have custom Jokers, and the Joker is a little bit of a clue as to part of what's special about all this stuff. We also probably see Mr. Funakoshi's shoes in there. We also, if you look carefully, have man tiles that have Arabic numerals in the bottom left corner for new players, for people who don't recognize them. So everyone can recognize their man tiles and know which one's which, and don't have to stop and say, what the heck is going on with these man tiles?
You might have to bring your glasses, though, because they're quite small.
They're a little tiny, but better that you look at the tile than that you can't look at the tile.
Yeah.
And yeah, the bottom was like the spot they decided was easiest to cut on. And we have
difficult, yeah.
We have flowers.
So you're welcoming the National Mahjong League, the American Mahjong peeps in.
Yes. So these tables are custom rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Rigged is not a word I should use. Custom configured is a better word to use.
Yes, yes.
These tables will play Japanese Mahjong, of course, in all its variations, but they will also play Chinese Mahjong with flowers and seasons, and American Mahjong with 152 tiles and jokers. Mm-hmm. So for folks who do want to come and play American Mahjong, yes, they'll do 19 length walls. We can set up the tables for them. We can put the jokers in, so you can play American Mahjong on an auto table, and not just any auto table, a high quality.
Probably don't have so many NMJL players here, right? But if you know anyone who is an NMJL player, because there are a lot of them in America, they should come to Sparrow's Nest. Did you buy the rule set? No, because players have to buy the rule set. You can't buy it as a menu anyway. They have to come their own rule.
Yeah, purchasing. I think they wouldn't like it if I like had a bunch of cards I could lease out to people. I don't think that's like a thing. You as a player are supposed to buy the card.
Yeah, I mean it's. Do you know what? It seems strange to us, but I'm going to defend them right now. I haven't defended them always, but it's kind of a social contract for them, right? Because the idea is those cards. I mean, the amount of money the cards are sold for is $8 or $15, depending on the size. I mean, it's a nominal amount of dollars.
Yeah, it's $15 every like half year or whole year.
No, I think it's for the whole year, but I think the $15 is for the large card as well. You can get a smaller card, which isn't as much. But that money goes to charity, right? That's their gig.
That's the stated goal. Yeah, the stated goal is that the money goes to charity.
So there's a social contract that if you are playing, you pick up your own card and you pay the money. Now, I'd like to point out there are several, not card publishers, not publishing. There are several people who make cards and put them online for you to download and print off, and they don't charge anything for them.
Yeah.
So you obviously you can play NMJL rules, but just with not the National Mahjong League's card, which, as you said, changes every. Is it April? Yeah, something like that. I think every April.
Yeah, so they gather new players by social impetus almost. Like people want to play, they want to be part of this community, they want to be part of this large scale thing that people do, and so they'll come in, they'll buy a card, they'll do more than just buy a card. They'll buy a card and they'll pay an instructor to teach them, and instructors regularly teach like the new card. How do you go for the things on the new card? What do you do with the new card? All those sorts of things. There's a whole
it's a whole little economy.
I mean, think of it like Magic the Gathering to some degree. Like, how does Magic get new players when you have to buy cards to even get in the door? Well, it's because there's events and things and people and all sorts of things around it.
But so they're not just pirated. People make just totally different cards. They're not
Yeah, yeah.
pirated.
They're not a
But
stolen version of the existing card. It's
it's just their
their
own
own card
version,
they've defined.
right? And I think unlike
They do.
Japanese mahjong in the West, and Dave can correct me. These are more his people than mine. They're well. Do you know what? No, I'm going to say it's a lot of ladies as well. But it's part of a culture, right? It's
Yeah.
already in the woven fabric of their lives,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's Japanese Chinese mahjong
Well, I'd say
typically
Chinese
for
mahjong.
China.
Chinese mahjong.
If you're in a
In many
if you're in a
cases, you have people for whom that's part of their family. It's part of their
yes,
tradition.
if
It's
that's
something
part
they
of your,
do.
if you're part of the Chinese community, but NMJL is the largest played rule set outside of Japan.
Yeah, and
Surely.
NMGL is huge. It's
Sorry,
huge.
so in the West. Sorry, in the West. Obviously, there's more Chinese mahjong in China. What am I talking about? That's nonsense. Let me roll that back. In America, the most common rule set is NMJL, and I'm going to throw in there that strange military one that the name has escaped me suddenly.
That's
It's not
interesting
Wyatt
because
Patterson,
actually
is it?
the suggested printing for these tiles came from Albon. They were like these are the flowers that we know to print.
Mm. Mm.
So that's really interesting. The other interesting thing is, I mean, to be honest, like we can always get more custom tiles. Like it's super cool. It's super doable.
Yeah.
And so like this is a first run. If we
So
find better
Magic gives
improvements
away
or better
40 cards
things,
started. So I think if you, I mean, someone should correct me, but I think if you just turn up and you're like, oh, I'm a totally new player, someone's going to lend you their card, right? Like it's not like
yeah, at an NJ loan, I would entirely believe that if you just turned up, you're like, hey, I'm here, I'm new,
yeah,
and someone's just gonna be like, here, you can sit here, you can use the card, like here you go. Like no one's gonna be like, you're
yeah,
not allowed to play unless you buy a card. I don't know.
yeah,
Some of these old ladies get real mean to each other. like I've heard stories of these old ladies being real cranky. But like, I'm sure that you're
yeah.
not gonna face people just being like, get the heck out of here until you come with your own card. I'm sure people are more
I think
welcoming than
that
that.
when I've seen people get really cranky about cards, it's usually when people are making money out of them, and then the money is not the money going to charity.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that being
Yeah.
a
Someone's
negative.
trying to get in.
Oh my god, you're under
But
siege.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge player base. I know people talk about Richie, and there's so many more now that we've got Mahjong Soul, Richie City. But I would still say, if you're talking about an active, lively community where people are playing events, American Mahjong is huge,
Yeah,
huge.
American Mahjong is massive. American Mahjong is still
They've
huge.
been playing. I mean, they've just been playing it longer than us. If you look back and they're playing what in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
So
It's
the challenge with Chinese mahjong that I've found, at least personally here in the West, and my experience is definitely limited, but it's much more of a personal thing than an
mm,
organized thing.
mm,
Except maybe in places like community centers or places that again, like
yeah.
not being a member of the Chinese community, I don't really hang out in Chinese community centers very
Yeah,
much.
I mean, I think Chinese mahjong has struggled in some respects because it just hasn't been reliably standardized.
Hmm.
There are several groups from China who claim to have the standard rule set, and that causes confusion, which always kind of starts dividing your community, and making it less easy to approach. And of course, when you say what is Chinese mahjong, there's Shanghai, there's Hong Kong, there's Shenzhen. There's so many different varieties of quote unquote Chinese mahjong, and wherever your family come from, where your heritage is, you are likely to play your own version of
Yeah.
mahjong.
A
It's
lot.
a bit, yeah. So that's whereas Japanese mahjong got standardized by the professional community. Um, and I think that's, yeah. I mean, there's obviously a huge Chinese diaspora. Um, and maybe I'm speaking out turn to say, well, actually, American mahjong is probably largest in America. I don't know the size of
I
the
think it
Chinese diaspora.
possibly is. It's hard to say, and I agree. The
Yeah.
people that I've known who've come from Chinese mahjong traditions and who've come to our meetups and stuff like that,
Mm,
often they have different house rules. Everyone has a
mm,
slightly different way, or it seems that everyone has a slightly different way they play, and that does make it a little difficult to just wander into some other game because you're like, well, I
yeah.
play the game this way, and they're like, well, we play the game
And
that way.
MCR, curiously, we haven't even managed to standardize that because
Hmm.
the MCR that Europe is playing is not the same MCR that is most recently published, as I understand
How?
it.
How?
Because it just, do you know what? But it's not been, I think the willingness is there, but you're looking into a country where mahjong has not been well accepted
Hmm.
because of its historical connotations. And I'm ashamed to say that obviously the British had a heavy hand in in the environment with which mahjong grew up in China with the opium and stuff like
Mm.
that. And it's got all of those connotations. And I think it's perfectly understandable why the Chinese government might not be as embracing as we have, because we don't see it. We don't see it as gambling. We don't see it as the dregs of society, maybe. And Japan has had the same problem. It's not like it's viewed as not until recently. Efforts like JPML, Kyokai,
Yeah.
Saikoi-sen, Saikyo-sen, M-League. All of those efforts, all of those people have been doing a lot of work to make mahjong clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
To make it
China
a
hasn't
sport.
managed to go through that yet.
It's
Um,
hard. It's hard, and I think that when there's something that is associated in your mind as part of a culture as something bad or
mm,
something that good people don't do that, bad people do that, or like
mm,
that's a shameful thing, and someone from the outside comes in and says, "Wow, that's really interesting." Maybe they're not saying, again,
mm,
I think all of us know that mahjong had a history as a gambling game, and
mm,
we're not here psyched for gambling. We're here because we think there's
mm,
a game that's really cool,
mm.
but there's still that interesting push and pull, and I can't blame people for
Yeah,
being
I
like, "Yeah,
mean,
that's not
yeah,
something we're really
we've,
into."
we've, you can approach Japanese, I approach Japanese companies to try and, fundraise for WRC, and often it's like, no, we're not going to fund that. That's not good. That's not what good people do. And I will, kind of add, if you really want to get the gender politics in here, you look at the Chinese diaspora, lots of the people playing it, the way it's been passed down is through the females.
You're
Um,
not supposed to use that word. You can just call them women.
well, the female lines, if you see what I mean. The women, and you look at all the popular media, things like Joy Luck Club, Crazy Rich Asians, the
That's
images, women playing mahjong.
That's an
Uh,
interesting thing because I was, and this is totally anecdotal, totally
mm,
anecdotal. I was speaking with someone yesterday and they had an interesting story they were telling because they were like, oh, well, I grew up in a Jewish household where my mother and my grandmother, they all
mm.
played Mahjong together. But I remember that when we went down to the local Chinese restaurant, if you stayed there
Mm.
after hours, all like the male waiters and chefs would sit down in the back and they'd play Mahjong also, but their
Oh
game
yeah,
was
no,
wildly
I think
different. They would play
yeah,
very fast. It was
yeah,
Chinese Mahjong, not American Mahjong.
yeah.
But it's I think
But I
it's
think the way it's been captured in the Western cultural sort of mindset is that it's women that play mahjong.
mm,
And the truth of it doesn't matter. And I think, unfortunately, whereas you look at things like chess and shogi and stuff like that, which, people think, oh, that's, grand chess master's a man normally, right?
mm.
I couldn't even name you a female chess master, which is tragic. Um,
I'm sure
and
there
I
are a
think,
few.
these are historical problems. I don't think they're problems now
Mm, mm.
at all. Oh, I guess there was that Queen's Gambit Netflix thing. Anyway, so I think all of these sort of mini problems have kind of created the storm that have dragged mahjong down. And certainly, like if you look at American mahjong, it's all Jewish ladies.
There is a strong current of that throughout American Mahjong culture for sure.
However, but to counter that, and I think you got the book right. I told you to go and buy that book about the military mahjong that the American military play, and obviously that is going to be predominantly played by men.
Just because there's more men in the military.
There
Yeah,
are
it's
more men in the
it's
military.
but this is kind of what you get when you have a game that has a strong social component.
Mm,
Is that at the end of the day, the issue isn't that the game itself is not welcoming to a particular gender or a
no.
particular group, but that the game becomes popular within certain social zones, and those social zones have a
Yeah,
demographic, and so the game ends up
exactly,
popular with that
exactly.
demographic, and it's
It's
not
the
so much.
network, right? It's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. If your mum plays it and you're a girl, you're more likely to play it just because that's how the world works. But if your
yeah.
dad plays it, and so if you ask my husband why don't you play mahjong? His immediate answer is my dad didn't play it. He doesn't go my parents didn't play it. My dad didn't play it,
Hmm.
right? Because that's how it would come down in your family, right?
Who you found is currently top female player, ranked 123 in the world. That's
Okay.
I think the whole
I
Queen's
don't
Gambit
know
thing was
much
meant
about chess, to be fair. I know
to
nothing about
grow,
chess.
was partially to grow
Mm.
women's interest in chess, because yeah, I mean, chess is a non-gendered game. There's no reason that a man or a woman is in any way better suited to be a chess master. It's really just a factor of like interest and free time and aptitude.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm quite excited actually that Sparrow's Nest will have be able to accommodate all of the rule
Yeah,
sets.
I mean that was something I really wanted. That was a real goal of mine. Was that anyone who wants to
Yeah.
play mahjong can come and play mahjong. That's
Because
the
I
point.
think, we've kind of siloed ourselves. Oh, I play only Ricci. Oh, I only play MCR. Oh, I only play American, right? When really, like, you wouldn't see that with poker, right? People who play
No,
Texas Hold'em, a lot of them will move over into Omaha or five card stuff, whatever. There's lots of versions of poker. And people wouldn't be like, oh, I only play, no, there's no way I could play Omaha, if they play Texas, right? But you get that actually from mahjong players, right?
a little
If
bit,
you're a
yeah.
Ricci player, like, oh no, I can't play MCR, oh no, or like, oh no, Americans, they have that card, right? And it's a really negative way to look at the world when really we
It's
all
just
use the same bloody tiles.
it's just better to bring the communities together. Like, of course, you're going to have a favorite game. Of course, you're going to have a way to play that you prefer. That's fine. That's great. But
Hmm.
if everyone hangs out together, we have a bigger, stronger community. That's what
More
I think.
resources. I mean, it would be like now the Reach community going like, right, you lot, you only play red fives, and you never play
Oh wait,
red
can we do
fives,
that?
and never the
Can we?
twain
Can we?
shall
Hold
meet.
on, hold on. Can we do that?
But that's how ridiculous it is, right? That's how ridiculous it would be like the Reach community splitting down the middle, even though they're really, really bloody similar.
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
okay,
wait, wait.
we can never.
What if we do this and then red fives infect other mahjong? What if the Chinese start being like, oh, red fives, sick, and
Why
all the old
not?
Jewish ladies are
Why
like,
the
red fives,
hell
that sounds
not?
great.
Yeah, why
No,
the hell not?
no
But
red
that's what
fives.
Mahjong's done. It's such a young game, and look at how many rule sets we have. It's only
It's
like what
true.
150 years old, if that.
It's true. It's true. So much has happened. So much has
So much has
happened.
happened, and so much more is going to happen. You look at Japan. Every time I talk about rules all the time, and the amount of movement that's happened in just a decade. I mean, I started playing when I was God. We've already had this conversation 15 years ago. So much has changed in the way
Mm,
Mahjong is played in Japan in
mm.
15 years, and the way that the fact that EMA had you couldn't have open Tanyao,
Oh
and that
God,
wasn't, but
yeah.
that wasn't that crazy at the time. That wasn't that crazy. Now you'd be like, what are you doing?
It was like a
You know,
little crazy, but it wasn't that crazy. But it was a
it
little
wasn't that
crazy.
crazy. It was maybe kind of the last hurrah for a type of game that people don't play anymore. But it wasn't that mental. People act now as, oh my god, haha, they didn't know what they were doing, and of course they did. It was well informed. I don't agree with the decision, but it was a well informed decision.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Yeah, it's not crazy. You can still find plenty of people in Japan who will not play with Open Daniel.
Can
They
you
still
really?
exist. Yeah, I mean, again, we talk about, I of course you're talking to the person who promotes the WRC rule set and the idea that standardization is going to make things better. However, you go and play in Japan and you will, Sanma came out of, from Kansai because they wanted to play a different type of mahjong. That's a very recent version of mahjong.
Really?
Yeah, there's a very Kansai based, and there's lots of local variants across the country because a group of parlors like playing it that way. That's how they're used to playing. You get the gold threes, you get the hakupochi, all of these things. They come and they go in waves.
Gold threes are so cool. I want a gold three.
You could have got one of your custom tile
Yeah, I
set.
know. Now I gotta order more tiles.
I mean, given how similar tiles are to tech cards, there's less variations than I'd expect. That's true. That's true. Perhaps someday the Japanese will play with all the tiles in the suitcase, whatever symbols may be on
Yeah,
those
just this
tiles.
is
Yeah.
acceptance. We just allow all tiles. All
I mean,
tiles at
yeah, but
once.
you buy it. You buy a mahjong set, and in Japan, and yeah, okay, it's got the red fives, but it will still have
It still has
a,
seasons.
a set of seasons of flowers, depending on what you get. Someone is using them somewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't put them in.
Yeah. That's true. They'd just be like, why do we make these?
Yeah, someone is using them. And yeah, exactly. It wasn't the gold threes. I mean, that sounds entirely believable to me that there was a pile chain with free in their name.
Using them for nefarious purpose. Just
It's
eat them.
purposes.
Maybe they eat them to improve their tile luck.
But yeah, sorry if you are of Chinese heritage. I don't mean to offend you in your Chinese game, but I think if you're just looking at the sort of organized variants, American mahjong has done really well outside of
In
Japan
terms
and
of just
China.
in terms of just growth and presence and staying power here, it's
Hmm.
done well.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to hear something even more shocking?
Uh oh.
British mahjong is doing better than Japanese mahjong in this country,
Is
and
that well?
British mahjong is a cack game. I am sorry if you play British mahjong. It is look okay. It's a great game if you want to sit around and push tiles about. It's like a parlor game, right? It's great fun if your main goal is to chat and just be moving things as you're
You're so
chatting.
anti. You're so anti your own. Maybe British mahjong is the mahjong that like
It doesn't make
lives in the
sense.
heart
Like
of Britons.
the game is essentially broken. If I can win it almost every single game, it's nice. It's not. I'm not that clever. That's what I'm saying. Um, it's just a bit broken. That's all. I think it could be fixed. But every version I've seen of British Mahjong is
Instead of British Mahjong.
broken.
Hey, I do British Mahjong. I do a British Mahjong day if people want to check
Do you
out
want me to
British
send you
Mahjong.
some rules? It's
Well, you
quite
should come as a
funny.
guest
I
instructor.
told you it's things like Hitler's blunder is the Yaku names.
I mean, that's okay. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
So
That's like a weird World War II reference, but it's not like a hateful
there is a
statement.
new variant out there now because that's the other thing. Like it's really very playgroundy that these rules are sent around in like photocopied versions, and I changed them to things like Brexit and other
Oh,
modern
that's
references.
political. I can't believe you.
Come on, if you're gonna have Hitler's blunder, we may as well go full.
It's true. No, we should come. We should have you host as a guest instructor, a British Mahjong guest instructor. We could do a special class.
I would do a British Mahjong special class for you guys.
Let's do it.
It's a cack. It's a cack. I'm telling you now.
It's amazing.
But there's British Mahjong, there's German Mahjong, there's Dutch Mahjong, there's all of these Mahjongs.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, I'm not sure I can go as far as the troubles. Brexit's funny. The troubles were not funny. I laugh in a
I'm not sure if that's a joke.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah. Mind you, I did go to New York and I saw that they're still selling cocktails called Irish car bombs, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you can't do that. That's not okay.
They do sell those. I cannot lie.
Oh, you're Northern Irish. Oh, God. Did you live in Northern Ireland? You flying to Wales for this, or you're for Cardiff? Granny's coming to Cardiff, so it's all right. You won't have to hang out with English folk, at least in Cardiff. I can say that because I'm Cornish, so.
And you're all Europeans to me. Oh wait, you're not anymore.
Oh, bull to you.
You know what I even got? You know what you're missing out on, Gemma? I got the ultimate convention gear for this convention. I got those voice amplifier things. Yeah.
No, my voice doesn't need amplifying any further.
Oh no, it does. It does if you're teaching at a convention. Let me tell you, because now our teachers will not be obliterated by like day 2.
Oh, that's true. My voice was always gone.
Yeah. Now you can just speak nice and soft to a microphone, and it comes out really loud, and it doesn't matter how loud it is around you, and it's really great.
Damn, Dave, you've really leveled up.
Well, it's a 4-day event. I'm like, I can't.
Do you know what? I'm excited. I'm coming to the second one anyway, because that means you'll have ironed out all the kinks, and I can just swan in.
It's true. It'll be easier. You can just walk on in and be like, I did this.
This is all me. That's very British and colonial.
I'll just take,
your tables. I'll just take one back to the British Museum.
Yeah,
I'll be like, oh, these are nice tiles.
Great tiles.
I'll put them in my museum.
I can't say no. Taking stuff for your museum is just part of the soul of the English. I can't deny it.
I mean, if you stop me, that's my British core value is theft.
Yeah, your British core value. I can't
driving too fast and just theft. That's my British core value.
Plain old theft. Yeah, I think it was just like that's how it works. We want to be sharing. We don't want to trample your core.
Do you know what? I feel like we've trampled over many people's heritages and identities right now.
A little bit.
But what I want to say is, Sparrow's Nest, you can play not just MCR, because there's also Chinese Official. We talk about MCR as if it's the only Chinese variant, but Chinese Official is a huge variant in China. So MCR, so that's Martian Competition Rules. Chinese Official, you can play Taiwanese, Singapore. You could play American, you could play British, you could play Japanese, you could play Hong Kong, you play Shenzhen, you could play Shanghai. There's a lot of Mahjong. There's a lot of Mahjong you can play in one place.
The Mahjong you want. And I have to learn to be good at all of it, or at least like rules competent in all of it.
I really want you to study that American military, because that one's always been fascinating to me. And I think because you're in New York, you do have quite a lot of seafarers stop by, right?
Seafarers. Yeah,
okay, what's your word?
They're just sailors.
Navy?
Seafarers.
Sailors? No, sailors sounds weirder than seafarers. Because, I don't know, but you have like the merchant navy and stuff like that. Like
naval officers.
Seafarer seems more generic.
Call them seamen, but they're not seamen. They could be of any.
People who come on the boats, okay? Like you have lots of military person. You have lots of military people that come through New York, right? So you might. I would just love to I'd love to have visibility on that, because it's always been something, because it's very much in only that community, and it never
Mm,
comes out. And I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. Jem, have you found my fortune player? I am looking for you, Avifor. So, one last thing.
mm.
Cardiff has one spot left. It's going to
Oh
be
my God.
amazing. And you should definitely come and register for the Cardiff event. It's going to be
Maybe
awesome.
I'll
It's really
go to
exciting.
Cardiff.
You can't because you're going to Comic-Con.
Ha! You're right.
I can't
otherwise,
find Jen and
Cardiff
Garth
seems
because
fun.
those fuckers are going
Yeah,
Comic-Con
Jen and Garth
too.
are going to be at Comic-Con. And we're gonna be showing video of that. There's gonna be so much exciting stuff. So we're probably not gonna do the stream that weekend because we'll be at Comic-Con and streaming from Comic-Con.
No, well, I'm expecting lots of social media updates from you, Jen, and Garth.
Anyone who hates their life, try to get internet service from a convention center because let me tell you something, it is the worst. Like I looked into what it would be to stream from Comic-Con, and they were like, "That'll be $8,000, please."
Oh, really? That's actually cheaper than I thought. I would have started at 10 plus.
Well, that was for like only 5 megabits.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was like for nothing. I'm just like, guys, there's no way.
Yeah, I really like. I just don't think people quite appreciate how much.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
the other
even
stuff.
power drops. Even power drops.
Power was real
Carpets,
reasonable.
right?
I was actually
Oh,
very
really?
happy with the power price. It was entirely
Okay.
reasonable. I was like, fine.
My last thing that I really was like, I've got to like pay how much for carpet tiles?
Oh yeah, the carpeting was. No, the power. I'll quote it. The power drop was like $130 for the whole event. I was like, you know
Okay,
what?
okay,
Okay.
that's reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
They
fine.
haven't given
I can
it. They haven't
accept
given
that.
it to you yet. It could still go wrong, Dave.
I mean, it was a small one. It's the size we need, but it wasn't like an industrial equipment power. Like you could order like if you had giant equipment, like giant. Maybe that costs a lot of money, but like for just plain old outlets and crap, they weren't really fleecing us. I was happy with that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But yeah, things like Wi-Fi, internet, always expensive.
Oh god, come to Comic-Con. It's going to be awesome. The Javits Center is going to be entirely full of tons of exciting guests, including Jen and Garth.
If you can't come to Comic-Con, come to Cardiff. It'll be full of exciting people like me.
As celebrity guests on the Comic-Con website.
I'm the celebrity guest at Cardiff.
At Cardiff, yeah, that's you.
And I'm really wanting to win. Like, I'm really hyped up on competitive spirit right now, so.
Yeah. No, I'll ask about that, actually. Let's see if we can get that in. Anyway, probably should get going.
Yeah.
We've done our hours. Probably should go do lunch. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you soon. We'll be around next week, and then the week after that, you'll get no stream, but we'll be aggressively filming stuff to show off
anyway, yeah.
from Comic-Con.
Yeah. And when are you doing your unboxing? Are you going to film that
That'll
separately?
be next year. That'll probably be posted various places. We can probably share it on the stream, but
and you should, before you go, share your TikTok
I was gonna say you should check out our TikTok. We're on TikTok. What's the best way to share?
There's I'm not sure. Delinquent Dave is on TikTok at the moment.
That's a nice way of putting it. We are Sparrow's Nest Studio on TikTok. I don't know the best way to share it.
I don't know how to share TikToks. It's just
I can just there's our profile. Hold on, let me find. Go back. TikTok, please. I can paste it into chat.
Thank you, Masca. Thanks for
watching.
Thanks,
Masca. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Troll.
Paste it to TikTok into chat. Sparrow's Nest Studio on TikTok.
Yeah, thank you, Granny. Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks,
like
Granny.
And subscribe. We're going to be putting stuff out every week at least. Poking around, having some fun, making some videos, doing some cool stuff. Some of them instructional, some of them humorous, and we'll definitely be getting our auto table unboxing on there. And probably on YouTube as well. We're going to try to backport this content to YouTube. But you know what drives me nuts? What drives me nuts is that everyone yelled at you for years for filming vertical video. Everyone's like, why do you do vertical video? Do horizontal video. Now TikTok's like, oh no, vertical. Only vertical, please. Only vertical forever. Now everyone's like, why'd you make horizontal video? You need vertical video. Oh my God, I hate everything. But these are my woes.
We're not young enough, man. We're not young enough for this crap.
Not young enough for this crap. Anyway, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
And see you all later. Have a great time. Have a great day. And a great weekend.